Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. The third and final witness that was called by this 7-member committee set up by the Speaker of Parliament to investigate this leaked audio, which allegedly captures a plot to have the president remove the IGP, appeared on Monday. Superintendent Asare. Eventually, the committee suspended sittings and indicated that they had received another audio that gives extensive information, even beyond the 45 minutes that they have listened to, which formed the basis for their first hearing. Now take a listen to Samuel Atachia, who is the chair of this 7-member committee. Take a look.
Of a tape on the assumption that it's authentic. The members of the committee will have to internalize that tape, and it is also transcribed and look at it. And that will give us the ideas as to what to do. First of all, do we bring all the stakeholders together with their lawyers for cross-examination and cross-firing to take place? Whilst we listen attentively, and later when they finish, then we'll have our turn.
Now, we know there is a new audio, but both COP Asare and COP Alex Mensah and Superintendent Asare all give indication of what is going to be happening next, even before this news of the new audio. Take a look.
That the IGP agreed with Bugri Nabu after Bugri Nabu had gone to inform the IGP that somebody wants your post, so he has come to me, to the extent that the CV that was collected from commissioner and sent to Bugri Nabu by those boys, they are two. They are prepared to come here and testify. They are two. They collected it, sent it to Bugri Nabu. Bugri Nabu gave the CV that was intended for the appointing authority. He gave it to the IGP.
Okay, Chairman.
I would want that. I would be happy that I say more when I'm in camera, because it is not a healthy development at all. On several, I have Alhaji Bugri Nabu on tape. Everything he came to say here on video in his office, the same office. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contract.
This statement by Superintendent Asare eventually has been reflected in a video that's gone viral, capturing a man who's referred in there as Bugri Nabu and a few other persons in a conversation reflecting the details of this particular statement that Superintendent Asare made before the committee. Now, the twists and turns is now generating much more conversation beyond the scope and the terms of reference of this 7-member committee. What is next for this IGP and leaked audio tapes and videotapes saga? Stay with us. We'll have a conversation this morning on this matter. Also, this flag bearer of the NDC or the 2024 general election, John Dramani Mahama, also raised some fundamental concerns, asked the Electoral Commission to make available the details of the various officers who are going to take part in the registration of voters beginning September 12th. Eventually, the political parties, NDC, CPP, APC, LPG, all went to court asking that the court injunct this process, which begins on September 12th, raising fundamental concerns that both civil society organizations also share in. This is the former president, the flag bearer of the NDC. Take a look.
I wish to add my voice to those who have called on the EC to reconsider its decision to restrict the registration exercise to its district offices only. Acquiring a voter ID card affirms one's right to vote, and access to a voter ID card should be easy and not limited by location. Every Ghanaian deserves the chance to exercise this democratic right. I strongly urge the Electoral Commission to facilitate the registration exercise in all its electoral areas to allow for easy access and a reduced burden on the citizenry in their quest to register. We want to know when the names and pictures of the registration supervisors, registration officers, registration assistants, and other officials for the exercise will be published at the district level as stipulated by the EC regulations. We've also requested information on the exact number and distribution of workstations, registration kits, and other logistics to be used in the exercise.
We'll show you the specific provision in the electoral laws that supports this demand by the flag bearer of the NDC plus other political parties. Eventually, before we went to bed yesterday, 2 private citizens have also sought to injunct the Electoral Commission from going ahead with this limited voter registration exercise beginning September 12, raising concerns about distance and inconvenience, which many others have also shared in, that could disenfranchise eligible voters. We would get into that. Today, Alan Kyerematen, just about 6 days ago, communicated his decision to withdraw from the flag bearer race of the NPP. Now, he gave reasons why, including intimidation of his agent in the Northeast region, inducement, indiscipline, and others. Take a look.
Happened to my colleague on Saturday was an act of total indiscipline and indecent behavior. How do we, as a decent party, going into an election, particularly at the level of superdelegates, superintend such behavior? I mean, look, we all joined the NPP because of our commitment to the values of the party. But what is happening clearly shows that this is not what we bargained for by joining the party. I'm not going to tolerate this kind of behavior.
Well, there are calls for him to go independent. Some of the bigwigs within his campaign, mostly members of parliament, have come out to say that if he decides to go independent, he is on his own. What next for Alan Kyerematen? Stay with us. These are the key issues that we will be talking about here, straight to the point, with my guests together with you. Welcome to Key Point. I am Alfred Akanse. We'll be back shortly after this quick break. My guests will join me in studio. We have a conversation this morning in the interest of the development of this country. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
It does get better anytime your favorite shop, Melcom, says it's there for you and got you covered with all your daily need items. Continue shopping on products ranging from groceries, stationery, electronics, homeware, kitchenware, furniture, home decor, electrical, and many more at low prices. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Jackpot of the week. Place bets and hit the jackpot. Log into the 1xBet account. Click on the Take Part button, place bet, and take part in the jackpot draw.
Give your luck a chance.
Use promo code to get a bonus on your first deposit.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be addictive.
As the Ghana's Most Beautiful competition reaches its peak, the stakes are higher than ever before. With each passing week, the contestants have dazzled us with their grace, poise, and cultural prowess. Our contestants step out of their comfort zones and embark on a mission to explore the vibrant African cultures. They will immerse themselves in the heart of other African countries to live, breathe, and celebrate their cultures, traditions, and ways of life that define our African brothers and sisters. This eviction week, you have the power to support your favorite contestant by dialing *713*13# to any network, or by downloading the TV3 reality app. Ghana's Most Beautiful is live this Sunday, only on TV3.
GMB 2023 is sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix, GTP, Techno Common 20 Series, AT, Pepsodent Charcoal and Lemon Infused Formula and Pepsodent Natural Herbal Formula, Geisha Moringa and Geisha Black Soup, Key Soup, Bell Pack Tissues, Sankofa Natural Spices, Vitamilk, Deluxe Acrylic Paint, Nescofa Blood Tonic, Heaven Black Mosquito Spray and Coil, Enapa Foods, Freedom from Casapreco, Frutelli Calipo, Duffy's Health and Beauty, Obuasi Bitters, Nubunawo Mwankasa, Dragnet, Shalatem, Top Choco, Global Wings Travel and Tour.
Makeup was done by House of Tara.
This week on Today's Woman, our guest is Mrs. Joan Kwei Mensah. She's thrived in the real estate industry over the last 5 years and is still thriving.
People think the way the economy is, real estate is going to slow down. But trust me, people are buying properties, people are renting, and real estate is not slowing down anytime soon.
She's here to teach us many lessons, especially when it comes to buying properties off-plan. But first off, Joan, off-plan. What does that mean?
It means acquiring the property before it's built. You get to get the property at a lower rate.
Lower rate. Don't miss Today's Woman this Saturday, 3 p.m. right here on TV3. My name is Cookie. See you on Saturday.
Today's Woman with Cookie T shows Saturdays at 3 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Latex Foam. Vlisco.
On Efira this Friday.
Miana. Yeah, Pacho be nesi me feduane mbro. Obi si feduane ble. Pacho hwan Fosua.
Eduane we die, mutumi ndi bi ma me 5 cedi na fa koto amete bi ndi.
Wo no aya na na Fosua na jense hunu ndwale utiri mu ntini. Atemi ana wo ka ho. Me obi abla meduane no. Me fensu wo na fa ma oba.
Wo me ja ofie no. Say ya de ma me no. What better ha every pizza? Anyway, now what dear ya we di? We are munshwe. Min pesa obe ba be ha me say we fun ya oya. What? What better every pizza? Why we be that? Hey!
Method malaria game changer no.
Kidney syrup, Mama Freddy tea. Top coat.
Efira, this and every Friday at 8:30 p.m. on TV3.
Welcome back to Key Point here on TV3. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279. We are all across the world on 3news.com. Share your thoughts with us as we go on. Joining me in studio is Honorable Eko Vincent Sefwa, is Member of Parliament for the Old Tafo constituency on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Alfred.
Martin Pebo is private legal practitioner. He is the leader of the Kumipreko Reloaded demonstration convener. Also a leader of one of 3 individual bondholder groups. Martin Pebo, as always, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Kansi.
As patriotic as you are in your Ghana fugu.
Yes, Kente fugu.
Wow.
Yes.
This is nice. Indeed.
Yeah.
Also with us, Professor Enoch Opoku Enchi is a governance and leadership expert. He is with the Academic City University. Professor Enoch Enchi, good morning, welcome.
Morning, Alfred, and greetings to all your listeners. I'm the Dean of School of Business and Communication Arts at Academic City University College.
Fantastic. Yes. And good to have you here.
Thank you.
Also, will be joining us shortly, Sami Jemfi is a National Communications Officer of the NDC. He's also a private legal practitioner. And as we go on, a number of people will be joining us on Zoom. When we get to that point, we will introduce them eventually. But we start the conversation with the very interesting development with this IGP leaked audio, and now there's a leaked video as well, and matters arising. It started off with this 7-member committee interrogating witnesses, and then also based on that's a 45-minute audio they had listened to. Afterwards, the chair of the committee gives very clear indications that they have new evidence, new audio, plus some videos, which they are also going to look into going forward. But prior to that, 2 of the witnesses who had appeared before the committee both accused the Inspector General of Police of conniving with Bugri Nabu to do this. First off, take a listen to COP Alex Mensah.
What I said yesterday, if you give me the chance today, I will say so again. He is not managing the police service well. And for me, for the 31 years that I've been in the service, I can tell you he's the worst IGP we've ever had in this country.
Superintendent Asari also made an indication of this plot, which captures them on tape, that it was planned and connived. But then again, the details of it were not denied by all of them, which is the fundamental concern of many. Take a look.
That the IGP agreed with Bugri Nabu after Bugri Nabu had gone to inform the IGP that somebody wants your post, so he has come to me, to the extent that the CV that was collected from commissioner and sent to Bugri Nabu by those boys, they are 2. They are prepared to come here and testify. They are 2. They collected it, sent it to Bugri Nabu. Bugri Nabu gave the CV that was intended for the appointing authority. He gave it to the IGP. I would want that. I would be happy that I say more when I'm in camera, because it is not a healthy development at all. On several occasions, I have Alhaji Bugri Nabu on tape. Everything he came to say here on video in his office, the same office. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contract.
Oh, this statement was eventually reflected in a video that has gone viral as well. Now, questions have been asked as to what should be the way forward and how the committee should treat all of this, or a commission of inquiry be established to go beyond the mandate and the terms of reference of this committee for the kind of extensive reforms that we need in the Ghana Police Service and probably other security agencies as well. Professor Enchi, let me start off with you on this, how this case has evolved over time and where we are now.
Thank you again, Alfred. I think that we go to the premise of the whole scenario. This whole 7-member committee that is interrogating these police officers is a waste of every Ghanaian time. Let me put it emphatically.
Really? Why?
It is a waste. These guys have never denied that they didn't say anything. They said everything. And they belong to the police service. So the police service have Section 7D of the Police Service Act, which talks about gross misconduct. Now, people should be told in plain fact that if you belong to the police service or any service for that matter, and unfortunately, our constitution makes it such a way that I've said it many times on many platforms, that it is not appropriate for the president alone to appoint over 7,000 people. We have the police council. So why wouldn't the police council appoint their own IGP? That is causing the problem. Now, if politics get into the appointment of an IGP, this is what you get. So you can have a situation where this is gross misconduct and disrespect to authority. Everybody should tell this COP Mensah that it is not his call to tell who is the best IGP or the worst IGP. The president has been appointed by the president. Whether you like it or not, he's your boss. And to go around, saying all these things about your boss, it's not appropriate. It's insubordination. And anywhere in the world, you'll be fired for that kind of insubordination. He talked about his, lobbied for this position since 2007. Well, you lobbied for something and you didn't get it and somebody got it.
2017. Yeah.
2017. You shouldn't hate that person because you lobbied for that position and you didn't get it. You just did not get it. There is something that I always teach my students all over from US to Ghana, that if you apply for a position and you don't get it, it means one thing, that that organization or that institution do not qualify for your talent. And that is how you have to say it. We all have our talent set. If you apply for a job or a position and they don't hire you and they pick somebody instead, console yourself by saying that that organization do not qualify for your talent. There will be another organization that will see your talent and then they will hire that talent. But when you become bitter because you did not win the position, it doesn't help for the healthy of that institution. So you can see that the police service has now become a toxic organization because of this. Infighting among leadership. Everybody wants to be a leader and want to catch the eye of the president. That shouldn't be the case. So let's leave everything to the police council. These appointments, immigration, police, all these should be appointed by the council. So we should go back to the constitution and change these dynamics. It's not helping our organization. And this police example is a clear case study that the appointment of their leader by the president is causing problems.
I say, but how dangerous is this extent of the situation we are dealing with? Because until now, we all had indication, some suspicion of how things play out in the various security agencies, or how IGPs are appointed or promotions are done. But now, what is happening has given us some extensive knowledge and detail of how things are going out in this particular security agency. So what, in your view, should be the focus after all of this?
The focus should be the mandate. The focus should be the mandate of the police service. Their mandate is to enforce security. Is that what they are doing now? There's infighting for power. And power is not grabbed. Power is given by the people. So if you are a police officer and this is what is happening, it means that they have lost focus. I was thinking that the police council will call these people, gross disrespect to whoever the president has appointed. All these tapes, they have not denied anything, but they are coming in to talk about somebody who they have on tape, Bugri Nabu, that they have given a contract of 40,000 boots to supply. Look at all this. So these guys are kind of powerful.
A video has been now leaked also to that effect.
Exactly.
You've seen that video?
I've seen that video. So now, what is happening is that...
Does it not also raise fundamental concerns
about
what's going on in there?
Politics has infiltrated into our politics. And it started from our constitution where the president appointed the IGP. That should not be the case. Now, when you have that situation, politicians who are behind the scene and our power brokers are going to do this. Give me your CV, I'm going to find the position. And what you do is that you give me contract. That corrupts these leaders. It corrupts them. So you can tell that the IGP, if this is true, has been corrupted already before he became the IGP. And that doesn't help policing in our country. We have a lot of problems, armed robbery and a lot of things that the police are supposed to do. We have a lot of issues where there is lawlessness in the country. And the police job is to make sure that there's law. When you go to any advanced country, I've been saying this many, many times, that a police officer will not take bribe from you. He will say that it is against the law. Because they enforce the law. Yes, some of them will be deviant. They will do that. Yes. I understand. But majority will not do that because they know it's against the law. Policing means enforcing the law and protecting the citizens. And that is not what they are doing there. It's a shame to the country.
I want to show you, before I bring you in, the next issue that came up this week was the interdiction. Let's put a few things on the screen, right? The interdiction of these three. The statement extract of it is what you see there. The police interdicted Commissioner of Police George Alex Mensah, Superintendent Emmanuel Eric Jebi, and Superintendent George Asari in connection with the audio tape which has become a subject matter of investigation by Parliament. It continues that the interdiction is to make way, or was to make way, for the disciplinary proceedings into their conduct in line with police service regulation. This was signed by Grace Akrofi, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Director of Public Affairs. It was to make way for disciplinary proceedings. Then, in less than 24 hours, we received another statement suspending this interdiction. And the reason given is that they don't want to interfere or prejudice the processes that is ongoing by Parliament to probe this leaked audio tape. So it continues that in order not to prejudice the ongoing probe, the police administration has suspended the interdiction. Now, on the basis of the law, does the interdiction in any way interfere with the Parliament's process, the probe that's ongoing, especially because of the two arms, the two various institutions doing different things, and then one having the power to discipline and the other not having that power to do so? Was there any point of interference?
Absolutely. A lot. I mean, and so we must commend the police administration for pulling back. That was the right thing that they did. To have pulled back. Let the parliamentary committee finish its work and then we'll take it from there. The point of interference would have been this. You see, the optics are totally bad. Totally bad. What is it? These officers who have come, at least two of them, Superintendent Asari and then COP Mensah, have made allegations against the IG. So once that was done, and you know some of the allegations are beginning to gain some traction, so it was just better that they didn't go on with the disciplinary proceedings. No need to rush. Let's go into this one, that's the parliamentary committee. Let the committee unravel everything, and then we'll take it from there. Yes, of course, the contents of the tape, you know, are very unnerving, okay, to say the least, putting it very mildly. I mean, talking about efforts to rig the elections, and you know, the whole thing started because they are not happy that the IG did a good job in the Asin North by-elections where the NDC won. I hear that's the root of everything, right? But bottom line is that yes, IG haven't done an excellent job, Yeoman's job over there. It's now turned out that, you know, when they were trying to remove him, he had to, at least by the allegations, he had to take steps to secure his job. And so the allegations of Mr. Asari and Mensah are that IG is behind the tape. And, you know, the issue of the contracts, and also I've heard subsequently the matter of IG not working well with his colleagues and the police, the management, the other directors. Even openly, you see COP Mamitiwa Adodankwa, right? Is one of the, she also has her own faction. As soon as I heard the Tiwa faction, then I said, then this thing, please, let's go into it. Yeah, it's open. It's not hidden. You can interview her. Yeah. She has issues with IG. It's out there. So many information out on social media. So they all have this issue of the management style. And so it means that we have to go into it. And the management style can only continue. That's to say that they are not happy with the management style because of the way the law is structured. So as I keep saying, what will come out of this very stronger, because we're going to ask for reforms to make the police management, the PUMA, more democratic, so that it wouldn't be one person taking all the decisions and looming large. but that the powers will be distributed, just as we've been crying that our presidents in the constitution have too much power. And Professor Entry just mentioned it earlier again this morning. So it's good. I mean, all in all, it's good riddance that this tape matter came out. It's given us an opportunity to be able to discuss issues of the Ghana police. These are things that are at the heart of, our governance system. Because when you have an independent police system, it's going to take us very far. So please, it's good. IG is done well, and COP, they've done well for just backtracking. It's good.
Well, we understand that the police council actually met and took this decision.
Okay, so it's a decision of the police council. Yeah, that's what I said. It's the best. It's the best. It's good that
chaired by the vice president.
Yes, it's good that they didn't dig in their heels because, as I mentioned, yes, IG did a good job in Asin North, and also when he came, people he's arrested, people that ordinary, he's arrested a number of your colleagues, right? Yeah, something that was unheard of. Yeah, but as for the MP's matter, I'm not exactly in favor, especially how he treated Honorable Susu. That one, I'm not in favor of that, right? Yeah, but by and large, he's done very well. He's done very well. But, human beings, we have faults. As I said, for me, once this COP Mamitiwa, also out there saying that no, they don't agree with IG. And I was like, this thing that COP Mensa is saying, it means that it has some basis that IG is autocratic, he alone. So let's go into it. And so if the disciplinary proceedings in respect of COP Mensa and Ms. Asare were to go on, it would not be seen to be fair. And remember the optics. So in law, we say that justice not only ought to be done, but ought manifestly seen to be done. So we have to see the optics have to be good. How can somebody who has accused IG of something, all right, and which appears now to be having some basis, as other people are saying it, in terms of the management style, as for the contracts, we'll wait a bit on that, be tried in the disparate proceedings that, that chances are that the person's going to try him will be trying to do something to favor the IG. It's never that independent. I've done it. I've been in one or two of those kind of disparate proceedings. Essentially, unless you run to court, you just see that, hey, listen, if you don't run to court, your client will just be found liable. Straight.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Those things, no. So usually when they take you there, you look at it and you can see that defeat is staring you in the face. You run to court and then try to get the court to step in. So as soon as they said they were going to try COP Asare and COP Mensa and then Supo Asare.
Yes, and then Superintendent JB as well.
Yes, I knew that the best thing they would have had to do was to go to court. So let's commend IG for pulling back. Ghana belongs to all of us. Let's do it well. Let's just let due process take its course. Then after, we can see what else we'll do.
I'm going to stay with you a bit on this because, you see, other instances have happened in the past where it depends on how it is treated. That's when we get the needed outcomes that we are all looking for. Because in other jurisdictions, when such incidents happen, it leads to progressive reforms so that the possibility of it happening again is minimized or eliminated. But we've seen in this part of our world where instances happen, we subject it to a lot of politicking. We lose the real essence of what has to be done. And then we go around this vicious cycle of repeating the same things and expecting different results. Take a look at COP Alex Mensa, who made another statement, and I'll come to you, lawyer, on how all of this should be treated by the committee going forward, these new revelations. Take a look.
Intel suggests that what was used to tape the conversation was done by the current IGP. He sent some people to do it, and after which he went for it. So the tape from my intel is with the IGP, and he caused it to be leaked. So if this committee wants the tape, the right person to call before this committee is the Inspector General of Police.
Well, we've had the vice chair of the committee on this show last week, giving strong indications that there's some conversation to have the IGP or may be invited going forward. But let me welcome Sami Gyamfi. He's the National Communications Officer of the NDC. Mr. Gyamfi, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning to my colleague panelists.
Okay. Good. So these new audios and videos that have come up, which we have had the benefit of seeing, how should the committee treat this going forward? Is taking into consideration their terms of reference, and there's this suggestion of a commission of inquiry also being established because of these latest updates or videos that have come up as well. Lawyer.
Okay, good. So, people have petitioned the committee, but we see that the mandate of the committee is a bit limited, right? So, two options. This is what, September, today is 9th, right? Maybe we should look at Parliament coming back. Either we can have the, what do you call it, an extraordinary session. You can call them, recall Parliament to come and expand the mandate of the committee, or set up a commission of inquiry. I'm in favor of the commission of inquiry because that one, so we are going to escalate it. When we are done and the commission comes out with its report, depending on what the white paper, so the portions that the white paper will accept, etc., from Article 278 onwards, those who have the effect of a judgment of a high court. You remember, I also West Wogon, the shameful thing that this national security did, injured our people, harmed people that they were supposed to protect, etc., right? And the roles played by Azugu, Double, and the rest, right? But you see that today, it's part of our history. We've become stronger. Eventually, that illegal band has been disbanded, okay? Yes, and so on and so forth. So I think that, yes, if we escalate it to the level of a commission of inquiry, it will be better, so that we know that, look, at the end of it, people who are found liable, there is the effect that a commission of inquiry can make a finding that you've abused your office, so you are no longer fit to hold public office. And that will be far-reaching. So that can solve a lot of the problems more than this committee. So that much I agree that the president under Article 278 should escalate this matter to a commission of inquiry, right? That will deal with a lot more of the issues. And especially as, these promotion matters these guys have raised, I've had memories in the police service. Yeah, I've had memories a lot. And so it reminds me of the Tibiru report. In 1979, we did a commission of inquiry into promotions within the Ghana Police Service. Yeah, there were similar things, these favoritisms, corruption, etc. 1979, I've just been trying to access the whole Tibiru report. Google it, you would see. We've been there before. And also even before that, there was a Ryan report. There have been other reports. So these matters within the police service, they've been happening from time to time. So if in our history, we've had a number of commissions of inquiry into the Ghana Police Service, I think this is one of the times to do it again. The last one, was it the Okujeto report? Yeah, the Accra Sports Stadium disaster, right? It's also made some suggestions, on how to improve policing. Before it, we had the Archer Commission, 1996. That's when some people were shot in UPSA. Is it Vida, Yebo or something, some names, some students, etc. As I said, you go to Ryan, a British police officer, ex-police officer came, Boy's report. There's a lot of history. So asking for a commission of inquiry to go into the affairs of the Ghana Police Service today will not be the first. We've done that over the decades. So that would help, right? Yes.
See, let me bring in Vincent Asifo on this. There are two situations now, at least, with the latest that's come in as well. And now the committee has dealt with at least the first part of it. The chair of the committee has given indication that they have taken custody, or they've received another audio and some videos that give extensive information, even beyond what they have. How should these two instances be treated so that in the end, the nation benefits from these revelations to improve on the systems and structures that we have as a people? Well,
Alfred, let me say a very good morning to you and to our cherished viewers. I think that what is happening in the Ghana Police Service is worrying, and very troubling, shameful, and to the very least, reprehensible. This is a service that has a motto, service with integrity. And for that matter, some of the things that is being churned out for the past few days is very disgraceful. I think this matter was first raised in Parliament, and after a short debate, the Speaker of Parliament set up a committee to investigate it with terms of references like ascertaining the veracity or otherwise of the leaked tape, and also to investigate the conspiracy, a supposed conspiracy against ousting the IGP. Now, the question we ask ourselves is, when witnesses, or if you like, persons appear before a committee, and Alfred, mind you, as a member of Parliament, whatever you say or whatever you do on the floor of Parliament, you are immune to prosecution or disciplinary actions. And when a committee also sits, it sits as a full-fledged Parliament. And for that matter, what happens there by members of Parliament cannot be amenable to any prosecution or disciplinary proceedings. Now, the people who appeared before the committee, like COP, Mensah, and Supi, Mensah, Masari, and Co. When I saw the interdiction letter, I asked myself, are these people qualifying, or if you like, do they qualify to also benefit from the immunity that has been granted to members of Parliament when they are in front of a committee as such? And that is how come I got a bit worried, because I knew that the people who advised the IGP to bring out such an interdiction letter didn't do a good work, because clearly these people
well, that is if the decision was taken by the IGP. Well, does he have the power to do so based on the law?
I think he has the power to do so. When you check Article 202, he is in charge of the administration of the police service.
But not in oblivion, right? And it is done, obviously, with specific consultation with both the police council and others.
I agree. I mean, for lack of better words, anybody who advised the Ghana Police Service to bring that interdiction letter didn't do a good job, because clearly these people appearing before the committee, in my estimation, in my opinion, are not amenable to any disciplinary proceedings, because they are before that committee to support the discharge of the work of the committee. And so it came to me as a surprise to have seen that interdiction letter. I think few hours after, we saw a U-turn of the interdiction letter. Then I told myself, okay, yes, I think they are now thinking. Because clearly, the leaked tape came weeks before. The Ghana Police Service was not interested in going into the details of it. Now, you find the Ghana Police Service now saying that we want to put you through a disciplinary proceedings because of the things that you said before the committee, which I find it very worrying and troubling. Alfred, I can say that the police service is in crisis. It's in a deep mess. I don't think
reasons. The decision to suspend was because of the probe, so that after the probe, the indication is that this interdiction resumes. That's what the statement they issued communicating the suspension indicated.
The Ghana Police Service has every authority per law to take anybody through any disciplinary proceedings. However, the purpose should not be what has been said before the committee. There can be a concurrent hearing. That is, the Ghana Police Service ensuring a disciplinary committee of any misconduct cited by the Ghana Police Service against any individual. Now, if the purpose or the reason is as a result of what has been said before the committee, That is where the problem is. So my point is that there could have been any concurrent proceedings or disciplinary actions against persons within the Ghana Police Service who go contrary to the law or who go contrary to the dictates of the Ghana Police Service Act, or if you like, the rules and regulations of the Ghana Police Service. However, in my estimation, there cannot be any disciplinary proceedings against any individual currently with respect to anything that has been said before the committee. And so I believe that the issue at hand is quite worrying. And I think that the Ghana Police Council should be interested in the things that is emanating from the Ghana Police as we speak. Maybe the in-camera hearing would help, so that most of the issues, as has been alleged by some of these people appearing before the committee, will be addressed, will be dealt with in a way that can save the integrity of the Ghana Police Service. Alfred, we are going into an election. The Ghana Police Service will be found at every polling station. If their integrity is dented, when you see the Ghana Police Service on your rules, whatever, and the Ghanaians are not having respect for the Ghana Police Service, is worrying for the security of the state. And I think that the Ghana Police Service Council should be interested in the issues that is emanating from the committee's sitting.
Okay, so there was this concern also about the work of this particular committee. And Lawyer Martin, people, there's a brief one on this. Can the terms of reference of this committee be expanded to cover the issues that have come up quickly on this?
Yes. Why not? Because that's why I said so. But to do so, it means that it's Parliament. So Parliament has to reconvene. Yes. But as I mentioned, people too are very worried that, look, are we not wasting resources to finish up this committee and find that the findings would not be as binding as if it were a commission of inquiry? And that's how come some of our citizens even started asking for the police disciplinary proceedings. But as you said, because of the apparent conflict of interest and all that, the internal proceedings will not be right. So it appears that the best would be to do the commission of inquiry, because let's go to Article 278 and onwards. The one that says the effect, the reports of the commission, when the government does it, if the government doesn't come out with a white paper, everything will be taken as a high court judgment, right? But if the government rejects some and accepts, the ones that are accepted would then have the force of the high court judgment, right? So let's see. And so that will be binding. So the recommendations and all that will be binding. That will be stronger. It says that, so Article 280, Clause 3 says, where a commission of inquiry makes an adverse finding against any person, the report of the commission of inquiry shall, for the purposes of this constitution, be deemed to be the judgment of the High Court, and accordingly, an appeal shall lie as of right from the finding of the commission to the Court of Appeal. You see? So then, yes, the Clause 3, the presidential white paper, it says the president shall, subject to Clause 4 of this article, cause to be published the report of a commission of inquiry together with the white paper on it within 6 months after the date of the submission of the report by the commission. All right? Yes. So the point is that this commission of inquiry will be stronger. So if the government accepts those ones, they will have that effect. And that's very, very important. They will have the effect of a judgment of a high court. Because it says that, look, 5, a finding of a commission of inquiry shall not have the effect of a judgment of the High Court as provided under Clause 2 of this article, unless 6 months have passed after the finding is made and announced to the public, or the government issues a statement in the Gazette and in the national media that it does not intend to issue a white paper on the report of the commission, whichever is the earlier. So you go on and on. So I'm looking at as I said, let's go back to Ayawaso West Wuogon. What did the commission say? It says that the national security were operating an illegal police service within its precincts. Today, it's gone. We fall now learn that, look, national security don't even have the powers of an ordinary policeman. If you read the Securities and Intelligence Act. No. When they want to do some of those arrests, and they need even a warrant from the court. So when somebody says, I'm national security, he doesn't even have the powers of a policeman who can just arrest you on reasonable suspicion and all that. So you see that now we've done so much education, and so if you go about with a gota saying you are national security, it doesn't mean much. They are basically what? Gathering intelligence. Of course, their work is very important, but what I'm saying is that at a point, the national security were made to look like they were even a superior police service. So somebody will tell you that, look, me, I'm not going to Ghana Police Service, I'm even going to national security. So we all kind of understood that it's supposed to be a superior police service. Now with Ayawaso West Wuogon, everything that's come, I see they've quietened. They are gathering intelligence. That's basically their work. Of course, we know from time to time they still do illegal arrests and arrests, but at least it's calmed down. Yeah, they still do illegal arrests. We've complained and complained. We're only hoping that they'll stop. And I just remember how the president shamefully even later promoted Colonel Opoku. It's not something we are happy about. The president shouldn't forget that he's going next year. All this will be before him. Somebody who has led people to maim citizens, etc. Then later you promote him. Now he's brigadier general. Very shameful. As for President Kufuor, the way he's turned this our constitution down. But let's continue. So, Mr. Kansi, the Commission of Inquiry will help us because, as I said, because of that effect, the way it's more biting, the way it has the force of the judgment of the High Court. And also, let me add, as Mr. Asifua, Honorable, said earlier, so he was referring to the proceedings. I didn't want to interrupt. So we are looking at Article 121. As he mentioned, if witnesses come before the committee, answers that they give, you can't use that against them. Article 121 is if clause 5. So you can't use anything they come and say they're against them. If you want, then go and gather your own independent evidence. And apart, yes, so 121 clause 4, it says, an answer by a person to a question put by Parliament shall not be admissible in evidence against him in any civil or criminal proceedings out of Parliament, except proceedings for perjury brought under the criminal law. Let's go over. An answer by a person to a question put by Parliament shall not be admissible in evidence against him in any civil or criminal proceedings out of Parliament, except proceedings for perjury brought under the criminal law. So Honorable is right. There you have it. So, you know, yes, it's true that the police service could have said they will gather their own independent evidence, but you know that it would have been difficult for us, the public, to believe that they were going to gather their own independent evidence. Everybody will be suspecting that they were going to use the evidence that has come out at the committee hearings. So all in all, it's good they've pulled back.
Okay. Mr. Jeffrey, so now we have this new development with this video, plus this detail of the content of this leaked audio, 45 minutes length, with the alleged plot to remove the IGP because he will not be complicit to this alleged plan to rig elections going forward. These two situations that have come out, how should they be treated so that in the end, the real essence of both the probe and this in-camera hearings is achieved? And especially because of concerns that have been raised by others that in-camera hearings may even conceal information that should have been made public for all of us to see.
Well, Alfred, I am of the opinion that what is currently happening in Parliament relative to this matter is an entertainment of gross indiscipline and irresponsibility.
What's happening in Parliament?
In this country, we have a habit of entertaining irresponsibility. And that, for me, must stop. What is this whole matter about? We are talking about a leaked tape that has captured senior officers of the Ghana Police Service, COP Alex Mensah, Superintendent Asare and others plotting to remove a certain IGP. And the reason for this evil plots, according to their own testimony as captured on the tape, is that the sitting Inspector General of Police is not willing or amenable to the mafia tactics that have to be employed to enable the incumbent ruling party break the eight. And that so long as this sitting IGP remains in office, they, as senior police officers, and their collaborators in the ruling party, the NPP, will not be able to employ mafia tactics to rig the upcoming 2024 elections. And they say that because this sitting IGP did his work marvelously well in the just ended Asenoff election, by deploying a lot of police officers to Asenoff, they couldn't maneuver, they couldn't manipulate the process, they couldn't rig the process. And that 2024 election is a must-win for the NPP. The NPP must be able to break the eight. They must be able to employ mafia tactics. This IGP will not allow that. So the IGP must be booted out. This is what this whole matter is about. There are many other things contained on that tape that for me are red herrings. What is of significance to the people of this country is the evil conspiracy of senior police officers who are just rabid NPP fanatics, plotting to subvert the will of the people of this country, plotting to undermine the democracy of this country, plotting to subvert the constitution of this country. Because if you conspire to rig elections, you are plotting to subvert the will and to subvert the constitution. These are serious issues. And in any serious country, these people would have at least been interdicted by now, pending investigations. Who said that investigations must be concluded in a matter before persons are interdicted? Where is that coming from?
You don't see any.
Where is that coming from? And who said that the basis of the interdiction of these police officers was the proceedings currently going on in Parliament? Who says so? Who says so? You see, the reason why we are here is that there is enormous pressure from the New Patriotic Party on the powers that be to remove the IGP. And this courageous IGP is being affected by that. He's beginning to be timid. He's beginning to think about his job. He's beginning to be careful. Either than that, the laws of this country that we have promulgated for ourselves have given him as IGP the power to deal with this matter and the police service to deal with this matter. Parliament can wade into the matter because of the public interest nature of the matter. Parliament can investigate the matter. It can make recommendations, which recommendations are not even binding and cannot be binding and have no place in law. You understand? But because of the public interest nature of the matter and because citizens desire to know what happened, to that extent the parliamentary probe is necessary. But that is not a substitute and should not be a substitute for the police service's own internal disciplinary proceedings. And I am sick to the stomach that till date, the police service is sitting aloof, watching these deviant characters come and sit on television and display their irresponsibility, their recklessness, their evil-mindedness, their unprofessionalism. They are looking at them because everybody is afraid. If you touch them, these are rabid NPP fanatics. One CAP, Alex Mensah, is even gunning for the Bekwai parliamentary seat of the New Patriotic Party. So, you've not seen his posters. The man himself says he's a known NPP member. Let me make my point. When you were talking, I was here, I didn't talk. You understand? So, who will touch Oga? If you touch him, you will carry the wrath of a Akufo-Addo. If you touch him, and that is what is playing out. Either than that, you see, look, we must begin to enforce laws and stop wasting time in this country. Section 17 of the Police Service Act is very clear. And that provision says that it shall be misconduct for a police officer to engage in any activity outside his official duties that involves him in political controversy. Are we saying that that law is there for nothing?
We have that. We'll put that on the screen right
And
now.
that law is not only in the Police Service Act, it's been replicated again in the Police Service Regulation, specifically Regulation 82, Sub-Regulation 1 CI. Let me read that to you, which is basically a reproduction of what Section 17 says. It says, it is a major offense. Look at the adjective, major. It is a major offense for an officer to engage in an activity outside official duties, which is likely to involve the officer in political controversy. The things COP Alex Mensah and Superintendent Asare were discussing on that tape, are they part of the official duties?
No. As far as we know.
Plotting to remove a certain IGP because he will not allow you and your political party, who have failed the people of this country, to rig an election. All this while we've been talking about a sinister agenda by the New Patriotic Party to rig elections in this country. People said, oh, we're just making noise. You see that police officers, higher ups in their party, together with senior members of their party, leading members, like Bugri Nabu, their former Northern Regional Chairman, are in secret meetings plotting on how to rig elections. And we are entertaining this. So straight away, the police service should have commenced investigations into this matter. And I am told that they have commenced their own independent investigations into this matter.
They've commenced beyond
that is what I'm reliably informed. Because the police service doesn't have to come out and inform anybody that they are investigating the matter internally. They don't have to do that. They have their own, day in and day out, police officers are made to face disciplinary action internally. Do you hear of that in the news? Do you hear that? Do you see that on the front pages? So who told Vincent, if he agrees that the police can conduct concurrent investigations into the matter, who told him that concurrent investigations have not been conducted into this matter? And they need not even conduct the investigations before they can interdict people. Because under Regulation 105, Regulation 105.1 of the Police Service Regulation, the IGP has the power to interdict a police officer who is a subject of investigation. Let me read Regulation 105 to you. It says, the Inspector General may direct an officer who is subject of investigations or disciplinary proceedings to immediately cease to perform the functions of his office, where investigations or proceedings are likely to lead to the imposition of a major penalty, and accordingly, the Inspector General may interdict the officer from performing those functions. So it is the mere likelihood of investigations into the conduct of an officer leading to a severe penalty.
Even before a confirmation of it.
Exactly. Even before the investigations begin. He has that power. If we think he shouldn't exercise that power, then let's amend the law.
So for you, this interdiction should have been sustained and not suspended, as we have
seen.
The
IGP says you are accusing me for running a one-man show. I have this power, so I will not even exercise the power. I will go to the highest decision-making body in the police service, the Police Council, chaired by no less a person than the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Bawumia. I will table it before them. Let them tell me what to do. After this meeting was held on Thursday with Bawumia in the chair, they had a meeting late into the night. And they checked from your intel in the police service. And the meeting resolved unanimously that these people should be interdicted. This was not even the IGP exercising his powers under Regulation 105 for somebody to say this is what do you call it? Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest where? So if somebody is engaged in a plot to remove President Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo cannot act because the conspiracy is about him. So he cannot act as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. No. The most important thing is that you have violated the law and you are going to be investigated. And the law says, pending that investigation, you can be asked to step aside. And at the end of the day, the IGP is not going to be a judge in his own cause. There are structures in the police service that are going to conduct these investigations. That is why we have the Police Professional Standard Bureau provided for in the Police Service Regulations of 2012, CI 76. So the IGP was he was trying to be politically correct by not taking this decision on his own and decided to table it before the police council. And Bawumia takes a decision and you have Vincent Asifua sitting on TV saying Bawumia's decision is wrong. You know what happened? Immediately the interdiction happened, the rabid NPP fanatics went to work. The hawks in their party went to work. They started calling the president. This guy has confessed on television publicly that he's a known NPP member. Dampare is not helping us. Dampare must be booted out. After all, we saw leading members of the NPP like Gabi Ochedako, their general secretary, my good friend Justin Kudria, threatening the police at a send-off that they were going to deal with them for doing their job professionally and for disallowing them, preventing them from rigging that election. That is what they are doing. So, for somebody to overturn a decision taken by the police council with Dr. Bawumia in the chair, you must know that that power was from above. And who is that power? Who is that power? It was the president who directed his Ministry of Interior to direct the IGP, giving him a 24-hour ultimatum that rescinded the interdiction. That is what is happening. So the independence of the police and the powers given to the IGP and bodies within the police to discipline errant officers, deviant characters like COP Alex Mensah and Superintendent Alex in the police service is why we are here today. You see, why must we? And please, you see, Senior Pegbo, understand, because of the public interest nature of the matter, I can understand the rationale for calling for a bigger platform like a commission of inquiry and all that. But let's be careful that even in, making such proposals, we do not give, such deviant characters the impetus to feel that, to profit from their own indiscipline. That is what they are doing. So all you need to do is to go and plot on how you want to remove an IGP, how you want to subvert the will of this country, how you want to rig elections and all that. When the tape becomes public and you are invited before Parliament, then you go making extraneous comments. And the committee also decides to go on a fishing expedition. They decide to do an octopus. So now we are supposed to investigate whether Dampare is dictatorial or not dictatorial. We are supposed to investigate whether Dampare is managing the police service well or not. You listen, I have been one of the most avowed critics of Dampare. But this is certainly not the platform for such inquisitions and investigations. If they are minded to bring such issues up against Dampare, let them petition the police council or the Police Professional Standards Bureau.
No, they won't get justice.
Why would they get justice?
They won't get justice.
Why won't they get? Okay, if they won't get justice, then they should look for another forum. This committee was set up to investigate. This committee. We don't want name and shame. We want sanctions. These men are not deserving of the uniforms they are wearing. These men should at best be serial callers of the New Patriotic Party, sitting at their headquarters doing the bidding of the leaders of the New Patriotic Party. They are not fit to wear that uniform. Did you listen to some of the things they said on that tape? I can't even repeat some of those things on this platform. So listen, if they want to question the managerial style of Dampare, I'm not interested in it. Ghanaians are not interested in it. There is a tape. A committee has been set up with specific terms of reference to authenticate the tape. The one who recorded the tape has already authenticated it. The people captured on the tape have authenticated portions of the tape already. We can use technology to authenticate the tape. Whether the tape is doctored or not, technology can determine that. Well, in the case of Ufuswampofo, technology is being employed by the Ghana Police Service to authenticate whether the tape is doctored or not. We can simply do that. And once the tape is authenticated, laws are enforced. Let us not, create heroes out of villains. People who are plotting to subvert the will of the people. We are spending precious airtime on GTV on them, and they come and sit down. And the simple questions they cannot answer, spewing rubbish. And we are entertaining this.
So, thank you. You want to come in about the position of the law as you earlier espoused. I'll come to you, Mr. Sefwa, about whether this interdiction should have been sustained or otherwise. The position that Sammy Gyamfi is espousing is that the IGP could have applied this without necessarily even resorting to the parliament for that, and that this interdiction should have been sustained, at least to ensure that some disciplinary measures are put in place to check this particular conduct of the officers of the Ghana Police Service. Is this consistent with the argument that you made earlier? Lawyer.
Me? Oh, okay. I thought Mr. Honorable Asifo was coming in.
There was a specific reaction that Vincent will give, which I'm not.
Yeah, so, no, you see, that's why I said, you see, in the law, and Samijefi will tell you, in the law, there are so many tools, so many tools, but we also can exercise a bit of forbearance, right? The IG is being mad in the controversy.
Right.
They are mentioning his name left, right, center. We all acknowledge that, look, he did the yeoman's job in Ascent North. And now it appears, so far we haven't heard any news to the contrary. It appears because of what he did there, then MPP bigwigs started plotting to have him removed, right? Yes, it's accepted, but now that this has come out, it means he's not going to be removed. Okay. He's not going to be removed. So, if it's not going to be removed, and we have an opportunity to now discuss other matters that are affecting the rank and file within the police service, why not? Let's do it. Okay. Let's do it, because I'm saying that, so you see that part Samijefi read. Yes, he can exercise it, but he's saying that in this case, once his name has been mentioned, and it appears there are some basis. As I said, look, you interview Mamiti Wado Dankwa. Interview her, let's see. She also has, she openly has issues with the IG.
Petition to the
no, she won't get justice. She won't get.
Why is the justice hiding?
Yes, because of the way the power structure. Listen, and I was there the whole of last week. I was at the police headquarters doing other things, and then you'll be here. Look,
they can't get justice either in Parliament. What can Parliament do?
That's what we're saying. Then let the president. No, but even before then, because of the public nature of the hearings, they are getting some justice. That look, the way they are complaining that IG is too high-handed, etc., and he's favoring his faction, promoting his faction out of 10. The police officers are bitter. Okay. The number of police officers are bitter that IG is promoting his friends out of 10. And they who have to be promoted are not promoted. So can
we set up another committee to investigate?
Why do you want setting another committee? There's a police council. They can appeal.
Yes. So can we have internal structures of the police investigate this? Okay. Or if we don't even have faith in them to act independently, can we have another body investigate this matter?
No, because our history shows that in 1979, when there was corruption in the police service about police promotions, etc., we used a commission of inquiry to deal with it. That's the Tibiru report, 1979. Tibiru, corruption in the police service about promotions. There's been the Ryan report. There's the Boyce report. Actual report, commission of inquiry. So we've been using commission of inquiry.
Not this parliamentary committee.
So that's what we are saying.
All right.
Exactly. So no, but anytime we do the public inquiries, at least for a certain number of years or decades, it helps.
Then it comes back again.
Yes. So it's the commission of inquiry that you make the point. Yes. It's the commission of inquiry that.
Just checking in. The point is the interdiction of these senior police officers should not necessarily wait until this is
no issue.
All right, thank you.
These are different issues about whether or not the IGP is autocratic. That has got nothing to do with
the leadership style. Has nothing to do with this.
Their conspiracy to remove an IGP because he will not allow they and their party
that one has already been established. You know, in law we don't like multiple. You know, in law we don't like multiple suits. We put all the issues together, so we do one complete and effective investigation.
But this investigation cannot even lead to any interdiction or any
under Article 280, it says that if they make adverse findings.
No, I'm talking about the parliamentary committee.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So let the president escalate or the Council of State. You know, we've been mentioned that the Council of State, we don't see what they are doing. Maybe this one, they should also step forward and say, look, they are advising the president.
There's no need for the Council of State in this country. There's no need.
Well, that's another conversation.
They are doing nothing for the country, wasting money.
Vincent.
Alfred, I think that my brother Sami is just embarking on intellectual dishonesty.
What do you mean exactly?
Why would I say so? I have in front of me the statement from the Ghana Police Service. And the Ghana Police Service was very clear as to why they were interdicting the 3 persons from the Ghana Police Service. Now, the reasons, or if you like, the rationale for interdicting those 3 people was because of what has been said in front of the committee. I made an assertion that the persons who appear before the committee cannot be amenable to any disciplinary proceedings by way of things that have been said in front of the committee. And Lawyer Martin Pebu actually confirmed here by way of Article 121 that such persons are witnesses before the committee, and for that matter, they cannot be allowed to go through disciplinary proceedings by way of things that has been said at the committee. And these are things that I said here. So, Sami, you cannot tell us that they can be taken through disciplinary committee based on the things that they said at the committee. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that there can be a concurrent disciplinary action. That is one that is triggered by the Ghana Police Service, and one that is also, if you like, the one that is already going on by the parliamentary committee.
You're saying the same thing now.
So the point is that if Sami also goes ahead to say that there are police officers who are MPP fanatics and what have you, let us stop being ostriches. Alfred, as you sit here, you are supposed to be neutral. Don't you vote during general elections? The Electoral Commission and its officers, don't they vote during electioneering processes, or if you like, during elections? They are not supposed to be necessarily neutral. In the discharge of their duty, they are supposed to portray a certain impartiality. And so, can I say that Peter Tobu, who resigned right from the Ghana Police Service and contested on the ticket of the NDC, became a member of parliament? That means that that person, or if you like, that individual, who is now an honorable member of parliament, was engaging in partisan politics at the time, just because you are alleging, which I am even saying that it may not be true, that COP Alex Mensah want to contest for Bekwai constituency. And for that matter, they are MPP fanatics who are within the Ghana Police Service. They are in Ghana
even
Police
beyond
uniforms.
what you are quoting, some of you are saying, the person sat on television and indicated
but that is why I'm telling you that. That is why I'm telling you that.
COP Alex Mensah himself said he's an MPP
There's
sympathizer.
no problem with that. I'm telling you that there shouldn't be a problem with his neutrality. Because as we sit, I have used you as an example. Even though you are supposed to be neutral, but in the discharge of your duties, you are supposed to portray a certain kind of impartiality. That is when I should have a problem. I expect Sami to tell me that in the discharge of the duties of COP Alex Mensah, probably even previously, you can attack him on this impartiality as a police officer. In the absence of that, you cannot just say that the person had have lineages with the New Patriotic Party, or he has even said that he is an MPP fan, and for that matter, he cannot be in police uniform and just be going ahead and be doing whatever he can do. I am telling you that we should have a problem only with the discharge of his duties as a police officer. Per Article 296 of the 1992 Constitution, any responsibility that is given to any public officer or any authority, you are supposed to be seen to do so candidly. Fairness, impartiality, without resentment. These are things that has been imposed on any person who assumes the responsibility of any public duty in this country. So it is surprising for Sami to make you look as if you are an MPP person, and if you like, if you are a supporter of any political party and you are into these institutions, it is wrong. Unless we are trying to be ostrich, or unless we are trying to be pretenders. It cannot be the case. It cannot be the case.
All right.
I have cited Peter Tobu to you right now, the one who is part of even this committee, okay, that Parliament is tapping.
So your point being exactly what? So now that this person on television, after a tape captures a plot, comes to actually confirm that yes, I sympathize with the New Patriotic Party, the party in government, and a tape captures a plot to have a particular agenda fulfilled, how does that square off with Peter Tobu?
Are you looking at the entirety? Because your allegations may not be correct. Your allegations may not be correct. If you look at the entirety of the videos that I have seen, clearly, you can even make an assertion that
or if you like, the allegations that is also coming from some quarters per the videos I have seen, is that this was at the instance of the IGP. The COP, Alex Mensah himself, doesn't even know anything about it. So I'm just saying that until the parliamentary committee brings out a findings, its recommendations, and what it thinks that per the juxtapositions of all the issues that have been raised or said in front of the committee, this is our recommendation. So I'm suggesting to you that, Alfred, let us not be pretenders in this country. Let us not say that people don't have their preferences and biases. People were born into families first and foremost. And for that matter, if the person says that I'm a fan of the New Patriotic Party, we should even be applauding him for his candidness. But hold on, but unless of course we can attack him based on his discharge of his duties, and he has failed to portray that impartiality, responsibility on him as a public servant.
Okay, so Professor Nti will come in. That's a briefly.
This was a direct rebuttal to something I said.
If you allow him, I'll also come in.
Allow him there was.
Can I
yes.
Allow him, I'll also come in.
No, it's not about briefly.
Yes.
He started with
so
a submission.
We have to round
I came in.
So do we move
he
to
has
the next
made a
issue?
rebuttal, and I'm only asking to make a rebuttal. Don't allow him to intimidate you.
Yes.
You see, my brother here is missing the point. He simply doesn't get what we are discussing. Who here has taken umbrage to the political or partisanship status of those police officers? Have we said that because they are MPP members or rabid MPP fanatics, they should be interdicted? Who has said so? So you are setting your own question. No, you are setting your own question and you're proceeding to answer. When we are talking, you don't listen. Not only are they rabid MPP fanatics, they have been captured on tape conspiring to subvert the will of the people.
Sammy,
of
and
this
I'm
country.
telling you that the entirety of the
videos
is the other
you
one
don't
that
get
have
to
come.
tell me that.
It's not
You've
enough.
already told me what you wanted to tell me.
No,
So let me
the
make my
other ones, the other videos.
Let me make my point.
About that.
Other videos.
So you
Let
cannot
me
just
make my
use what
point.
they said at the
There is
front
no
of the committee.
other video. There is no other video.
There are other videos that I
anywhere.
have seen yesterday.
That
is disputing what you are saying.
All right, you've made your point. Thank you.
Let me make my point. There is no other video anywhere which contradicts this point. That these senior police officers were not involved in a conspiracy to remove the sitting IGP and have a new IGP appointed.
You listen to COP.
Who will
Superintendent Asari. No. You listen to Asari right now. Asari indicated that.
Mr. Vincent Assefuah.
No, hold on. You can play that video. Maybe he was not here. Play that video. What Asari said.
Mr. Vincent Assefuah, I would admit you only when I give you the chance to do so. So please, let's maintain. I've played that video a number of times. Let's maintain that orderliness.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing sanity to that. You see, we are talking about senior officers of the police service captured on tape, plotting the removal of an IGP so that they can have their preferred IGP appointed. For what purpose? For what purpose? To enable the incumbent MPP rig elections. We've all watched the tape. We've listened to the tape. It is there. Black and white.
That's not true.
So that is a crime. That is wrong. The examples you cited don't wash. Yes, Alfred may have his own political leanings. He may be MPP or NDC. But Alfred has not been captured on any tape plotting the removal of the MD of this company so that a new MD will be appointed for them to rig election for any party. Neither has Tobu been caught on tape plotting the removal of any IGP so that elections can be rigged for the NDC. So the examples you are setting don't apply in this case at all. You deviated. Then he says that, oh, but this tape, we should not take everything on it like that because there are even indications that the IGP might have recorded it. And so what? And so what?
Is that also
and so what? And so what?
You see the reason
Lawyer Martin Pebu will tell you, any lawyer worth his salt will tell you, that it matters not how the evidence is obtained, once it relates to public safety, public order, public security. Once you are conspiring to commit a crime, if the subject matter of that conspiracy has a means of recording it, and he records it, what is wrong with it? So, assuming without admitting that it is even true that the IGP recorded it, he deserves an award for it. It means he's a very good police officer. Because what the conspiracy they were engaged in was a criminal conspiracy. Then he says that the we shouldn't be pretenders. They are NDC. Of course, I would be a hypocrite to say that they are only MPP people in the police service. They are NDC, CPP, PPP, MPP. But to the extent that none of those people have been caught on tape conspiring to subvert the will of the people of this country and to rig elections, the tape has already been authenticated. And in fact, the chairman, Atachia, your own MP, who is the chairman of the committee, is on record to have said that the tape has been authenticated already. And in fact, the person, your former Northern Regional Chairman, Bugri Nabu, who is a close associate of President Akufo-Addo, says that he recorded the tape. Are you saying that Bugri Nabu is a liar? Then finally, he says that. I'm running up. My brother, I think you have a problem.
Yes.
You have a problem. You have a problem conforming with the rules of this platform.
Now,
because if we all behave like you, we will not have a decorous engagement.
Here's what.
Let me make my point.
With your consistent obstructions, I am not going to come to you. I am not going to come to you
and he doesn't
again.
He doesn't even deserve a third bite. Because we are all having our second bite. Now, the point is this. He says that the police issued a statement and indicated in the statement that the basis of the interdiction of those officers was what was going on before Parliament. I've read the statement. Save the mere reference to the matter pending before Parliament. There is nothing in that statement announcing the interdiction of those officers, that they were being interdicted because of their testimonies before that parliamentary committee. They said they are being interdicted. Listen to paragraph 2. Said the interdiction is to make way for disciplinary proceedings into their conduct in line with the police service regulations. And the police service regulations is clear that a subject matter of police investigations can be interdicted pending investigations if the investigation can lead to a severe penalty or punishment. So what you're saying has no legs to stand on. Look, what he's doing here is simply defending rabid MPP fanatics, okay? Because they belong to the same MPP. They have one agenda, which is to kick out Dampare so that they can rig elections. But they will never have their way. They are wasting their time.
I think they're really giving a hard time this morning.
Quick, round it up, yes.
I said from the beginning that there are always code of conduct in every institution. The police service is supposed to have their code of conduct. If you are in the service and you have a problem with the style of leadership of the IGP, there are internal structures that you go through. I started by saying that this is pure insubordination.
Okay.
And to go through that route and come boldly before a parliamentary committee and say all sort of things, boldly, I don't know who has emboldened them or who has empowered them to say all these things, but all the things that we are hearing is a distraction because there are real issues that are bothering the people of Ghana here. Let them go back, see the council should decide, the police council should do that. And I have said it, I'm going to repeat it, that we don't need a president that is going to appoint the IGP. We need the police council to do that. That will avoid all these things, power struggle and people trying to get attention of the president so that the current IGP will be taken out and they will get a position. It doesn't help anybody. We, as Vincent said, we are heading towards elections. We need the police. Every polling station is supposed to have a police officer. At least on that day, they are supposed to be neutral because their job demands that. And we should see that kind of professionalism and integrity in our police, not this kind of manslinging and speaking against each other. A divided front never stands, and that's not how policing is, it works.
Professor Enoch Antwi, thank you. Now, this leads us to our next conversation. This is Key Point on TV3. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, and DSTV channel 279 all across the world on 3news.com. Before the close of day yesterday, 2 private citizens had gone to court to seek an injunction on the planned limited voter registration exercise by the Electoral Commission beginning September 12th. That is this coming Tuesday. Their major concern is the inconvenience that they'll be faced with and the difficulties that they'll be faced with in going to the Electoral Commission's district offices to register, as the EC has communicated that the limited voter registration exercise will take place only at its district offices. Before that, the NDC, the CPP, GCPP, APC, and LPG have also gone to court for similar reasons, asking that the Electoral Commission goes beyond its district offices to register eligible voters. Now, the CDD, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, and others have all raised fundamental concerns about this decision by the EC. But take a listen to the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, earlier in the week, also talking about the Electoral Commission giving further details in the spirit of transparency for this process. Take a look.
I wish to add my voice to those who have called on the EC to reconsider its decision to restrict the registration exercise to its district offices only. Acquiring a voter ID card affirms one's right to vote, and access to a voter ID card should be easy and not limited by location. Every Ghanaian deserves the chance to exercise this democratic right. I strongly urge the Electoral Commission to facilitate the registration exercise in all its electoral areas to allow for easy access and a reduced burden on the citizenry in their quest to register. We want to know when the names and pictures of the registration supervisors, registration officers, registration assistants, and other officials for the exercise will be published at the district level as stipulated by the EC regulations. We've also requested information on the exact number and distribution of workstations, registration kits, and other logistics to be used in the exercise.
So that's quite apart from the reasons that these persons who went to court are seeking. What John Mahama is talking about is some further detail on the voter registration process, and especially the identities of the persons whom the Electoral Commission is going to engage in this. In fact, that's consistent with law and then also the provisions governing elections in this country. Let me start off with you, Lawyer Martin Kpebu, on this particular issue, because it's not just one political party or even political parties, but civil society organizations that have raised concern about the Electoral Commission's decision to limit the voter registration centers to its district offices. Now, what does the law specifically say about this limited voter registration exercise and how it has to be done? Reason why the EC's decision is problematic and would create a process that would disenfranchise other eligible voters in the process.
You have the soft copy of the CI here, and I have got the wrong one.
Martin Kpebu.
Yeah, 91. Yeah, so I can say, let's start from the Constitution. First and foremost, the Constitution in Article 45 says that the EC shall embark on programs that would enable it to enlarge the voter registration. Okay? So the population that registers, it says that the EC shall embark on such programs. And so, once the Constitution is giving them a charge, so I'm looking at Article 45, Clause 45E. It says, the Electoral Commission shall have the following functions. The E, to undertake programs for the expansion of the registration of voters. To undertake programs for the expansion of the registration of voters, right? That's one. So they are the other ones, compile the voters register. But I'm looking at the expansion. So we are creating the context. So where the Constitution says that undertake programs for the expansion of the registration of voters, it makes sense that in a case like this, and coupled with CI 91, when you have CI, I don't have my copy here, the CI 91 says that there should be a program for what? Continuous registration. Continuous registration. And yet, we've seen that in the times past, EC has not been able to deliver on this mandate. So, naturally, once the EC is now going to do the limited voter registration, you would expect that accessibility will be key, number one, on the radar, because there's a constitutional injunction. Do programs to expand registration of voters. CR 91 says, make facilities available for continuous registration. You don't do it. So now that there's an opportunity to do it, it's only reasonable. And you see, Honorable Asefua mentioned earlier, Article 296, when you are exercising a discretion, exercise it in a fair and candid manner. Fair. So now that citizens haven't had the opportunity to register since 2020, right? And you are now going to do it. Why don't you do it at all the centers as much as possible? Yes, so that you will be adhering to the Constitution, 45E. You're expanding the voter registration. And also, you're going by CR 91 that you should do continuous registration. That's the way I see it. Anything short of that, no. And you see, it ties in with everything we've been saying every week about poverty. Poverty. People are complaining. I understand some of the district offices where the limited registration is going to take place are more than 100 kilometers away from some of the citizens. So if you have to travel more than 100 kilometers in a country where at least 11% of the citizens are poor, and when we say poor, by the World Bank standards, living on less than $1.90. So if I just convert roughly 24 Ghana cedis, less than 24 Ghana cedis, you're expecting such people to board vehicles to go over 100 kilometers to go and register. That's illusory. So it means that this voter, the limited registration that you're going to do is illusory. It's not accessible to poor citizens. And we have complained ad nauseum that President Kufuor needs to do something about this poverty. And Mr. Council, let me mention and pass it that, because, as I said, for me, the way I understand it is that, look, this thing is all about poverty, poverty, poverty. Look, as part of it, you will see, I've seen this program, Agricultural Water Management Project, that they're supposed to do in the north to help citizens, be able to undertake farming activities, to be able to alleviate poverty. For 6 months, since Honorable Brian Champon took over, he hasn't implemented the project, and farmers in the north are suffering. So for me, I see it as interrelated, because every time we discuss these topics, if we don't get into poverty, then we haven't said anything. So the point I'm making is that where you have over 3 million citizens living on less than 24 Ghana cedis a day, right? And then there is even government project to alleviate their poverty, and government is not doing. Then this is a slap in the face to say that such citizens, 24 Ghana cedis, you should travel 100 kilometers. You know how much it costs to go 100 kilometers to go and register? So there's a disconnect. So the EC's program, there's a disconnect. The EC doesn't understand the dynamics, that poverty is such a huge problem. You see, because we are in Accra, and then sometimes you think, oh, even 50 Ghana you use for a snack, you just presume that every part of the country, everybody is well off. No, poverty is a huge problem. Huge problem. So EC should look at that side. You should look at it. Because of the poverty, over 3 million Ghanaians living on less than 24 Ghana cedis a day. You say the World Bank says $1.90. So this is the way I understand it. And don't forget, we read the laws together. We read all the laws together, and there's a context. So EC cannot just say, oh, it's my discretion. I will decide where to do limited registration. No.
I see. So this is Article 42 that you made reference to, which is
45.
And 42 and 45.
Yes.
This one talks about the right to vote.
Yes.
The fundamental right of every citizen of Ghana of 18 years of age or above, and of sound mind, has a right to vote, and is entitled to be registered as a voter for the purposes of public elections and referenda. And no administrative process should be put in place to deny any citizen who is 18 years and above and all these qualifications from being registered to vote.
Absolutely. That would be voter suppression. So the EC is deliberately engaging in voter suppression. Because 42 is clear, it's entitled, and then you look at the Supreme Court case of Tenadi versus EC. The man who went on peacekeeping, he was out of the country, came back, then he said, no. The Supreme Court was very clear. Make it accessible for him to be able to what? Register to vote. So we've had Tenadi. It's easy. Where the Supreme Court was, I think it's 98 or something like that. Well, the year doesn't matter, but it's a popular case. So the Supreme Court was very clear that 42, don't put such impediments. Don't put such impediments. You see, so the EC has to come again. And it's not every time that the EC has to wait to be dragged to the Supreme Court. It's just untenable. It means that every time the EC is embroiled in litigation, when will the EC ever get it right? That look, this one, we just want to do it the way it has to be done. You think you can wish away the poverty? People are really hungry, eh? Yeah, people are really, times are hard. So the EC should look at it in that light and make sure that they bring the registration centers to the doorstep of the citizenry. Yes, there's money. They shouldn't complain about it. There's enough money. They are busy buying V8 and busy traveling all over, bathing in the sky. There's money. Okay.
If you look at, and Mr. Sefwa, if you look at the two citizens who have even taken on the Electoral Commission, in fact, both the EC and the Attorney General are joint respondents in all the two private citizens' suits that have been filed. Agbenyo talk Mercy, and then also we have Precious earlier, also raising same concerns. Ayita Precious. One is somewhere in Dodowa, and then another somewhere in the Volta region. If you look at the distance, in fact, in the case of the Volta region, Agbenyo Mercy says the district office of the EC and where she is, she's around the Vli waterfalls. She has to go through Togo to come back into Ghana to get to that particular polling station. If you look at areas like Shayo Sudoku, constituency stretches from Dodowa all the way to Doyumo and surrounding villages. Lower Manya stretches all the way into Akuse. I mean, you can talk about North Town where it goes all the way to Mefe, Bato, Togome, and all these areas. The distance is wide. I'm sure your constituency as well, you would have some of these instances replicated there.
No, I don't.
Is it, would that not have been a fundamental consideration, if you don't, for the Electoral Commission as well to take into consideration the concerns that have been raised, not just by the political parties, but civil society organizations, about the distance and other factors that would impact on eligible voters going to register because they have limited this registration exercise to their district offices?
Alfred, I think in the circumstances, because there are two legs of suit, in the wisdom of the Supreme Court, normally they will consolidate both, as it happened in the NDC versus CC in 2001. Now, if you read the Article 45, as Mr. Martin Pebu just read out, and also read out the Regulation 30 of the CI 91 as amended by the CI 126. The 31 says that the Commission shall revise the register of voters annually and may revise the register of voters for each electoral area within a period that the Commission shall determine. Now, when you take the two, it says that the process for registration is provided in these regulations, as provided in these regulations, apply with the necessary modification as the Commission shall direct for the revision of any register. Now, to respond directly to Mr. Martin Pebu. Now, my estimation is that I do not think that the EC is embarking on any agenda to suppress vote. Why do I say so? There's a certain doctrine called the doctrine of non-justiciable political question. And that is a doctrine that says that, in fact, that doctrine is applicable to Ghana, but to the extent that it doesn't contravene any provision of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, or, to the very least, the spirit of the Constitution. So, the doctrine of non-justiciable political question is that when there is a duty
or a responsibility that has been given to any public institution, no court has the responsibility, or if you like, the right to determine how that public duty will have to be done. So, if you check the case of G.H. Mensah versus the Attorney General, it was clear that the court was of the opinion that Article 78 is clear that at any point in time, ministers will have to be approved by Parliament. But the court cannot determine as to how the approval processes will have to be done. In the same vein, in the same principle, I do not think that the case that has been sent to court by the NDC and other persons to the Supreme Court, it seems to me that we are directing to the Electoral Commission as to how they should embark on Regulation 30, as I just read out, that yearly, and if I may have to read that one again, yearly, the Commission shall revise the register of voters annually and may revise the register of voters for each electoral area within a period that the Commission shall determine. Now, the 2 is very instructive when it says that the process of registration, as provided in these regulations, apply with the necessary modifications. So, in my estimation, it is supposed to be done by the Electoral Commission. Now, the argument that this is a way to suppress voters or eligible voters the opportunity to vote, and some arguments that I've also heard is that it's a trample on the fundamental human rights of certain persons in this country. Now, the Article 33 of the 1992 Constitution is very clear. When your fundamental human right is about to be trampled upon or is trampled upon, the best place for you to go is the High Court. So if the NDC is saying that fundamental human rights of certain persons are likely to be trampled upon, then the best place for you to go is the High Court. Now, lawyer, if you check...
This is not limited to just the NDC. Let me just put it on
Well,
record.
it's fine. I mean, the other persons, and of course, as I said, in the wisdom of the Supreme Court, normally in such instances, they will just consolidate the case
But
and
even in
give
the
us their
case of the
judgment.
NDC is with 4 other political parties. You know that?
I know.
Yeah, so I just...
No, it's fine. I mean, that's a red herring. So the point I'm trying to make...
It's a fact.
That's okay.
I mean, I don't think anybody... And I think, Mrs. Watt, nobody has questioned the EC's powers to do this.
Senior.
It's a lot more about what is being done and how the process would lead to
I've answered
disenfranchising people.
No, and I've answered
It's not so
you,
much about whether the EC can do that or otherwise.
I have answered you with the doctrine of the non-justiciable political question.
How does that specifically explain, one, the reason why the Electoral Commission in instances would create polling stations or centers closer to the people on this same principle of having people get
On
the
what basis are you saying
opportunity
that?
to exercise their franchise?
No, I agree. But I'm
Now,
just asking
I'm
that.
just-
No, I want to understand the basis for you, what you are saying. That is
What-
there any law that demands the EC to send it to the polling stations?
No, what do you say? On what basis?
Yes.
There-
So we're
there's a
saying that
provision.
the discretion. So you live within a population that has a high number of poor people.
Yes.
People who are living on less than
Yes.
24 cedis a
Yes.
day, and you are citing a polling station more
Which
than
is-
100 kilometers,
But-
registration
but
center
there's a
more than
question-
100
there's a
kilometers
question of-
away.
Sina-
It doesn't
Sina
make
Martin,
sense within
there's
the
a question
constitution.
of suitability as to whether the Electoral Commission is well placed and capable to do so.
So that's a different question. It has to go before Parliament. There's a special, you're a parliamentarian,
But I'm
special
saying that-
budgets committee.
But I'm saying that per the regulation, that is regulation 32, it gives the
But
responsibility.
have you quoted
for
the one
Electoral
on
Commission.
continuous registration? I don't have
But
my
that is 31. That is what I just said. The 31 says that.
The emphasis, this situation is with continuous registration. You are quoting a law that does not apply to the circumstance we are dealing with
Which
now,
law?
which is the continuous registration exercise,
Yes.
which is in question now,
Yes.
which is under discussion
Yes.
at the moment.
Yes.
What we're talking about is that if you say that this exercise, for instance, has to be done yearly, that's what the law says.
Yes.
In 2021, it wasn't done. In 2022, it wasn't
Yes.
done. We're consolidating all of these 3
I can
years into
imagine.
this one.
Yes.
there is also a backlog of a number of people who turned 18 or couldn't even register before 2020.
Yes.
All of that is all those people are going to take part in what is going to happen on Tuesday. And based on the numbers, the consideration that the EC is being asked to look at is the inconvenience that this creates.
And I'm saying I agree
taken
with
into
you.
consideration. You agree with that?
But there is a question of suitability and
What is the
capability.
suitability?
Suitability is where the Electoral Commission can demonstrate that it can have electoral centers at every polling station. They are saying that they cannot do so.
Have they said that?
Are you looking for what is suitable to them? Or to
Of course, for them to discharge their mandate under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
Have they come to
Has the EC,
that.
has the EC indicated that they can't do this?
But I'm also telling you that if they are not doing so, then it means they can't do that.
Oh, not necessarily.
Because
Sometimes
it
they
mean that.
No, they are not. They are
They
not.
can just be-
They
I'm just
haven't
telling
come
you
out to
that
say they can't do it.
My
I think
interest,
they just put it on
see,
record.
Alfred, my interest, and as a stakeholder of the 2024 election, is to join hands with anybody to ensure that we will not have foreigners to be part of our electioneering process. That is where my interest really lies. My interest is not on the optics, whereby we say that, okay, in fact, there are some polling stations, Alfred, let me indicate to you, that even if you set these centers at the polling stations, there are still people who have to take a number of transportation, or if you like, 1 or 2 transportations before they can get to those polling stations. Then maybe at best we should take it to people's rooms to go and do that for them. But no, I'm just hold on. I'm just saying at best. But if that's the argument you are making, that people will have to embark on quite a number of kilometers journey before they can get there. At any point, even if it's a polling station, I'm suggesting that it is possible that people will have to still take transportation before they can get there. But my interest, Senior Lawyer Martin Pebu, my interest is what can we do as stakeholders of the 2024 elections to ensure that there are non-foreigners on our election process, or if you like the register. That is my interest. And so I am not holding brief for the Electoral Commission. No, I'm not doing that. But all that I'm trying to say is that we have to give the Electoral Commission the benefit of the doubt. It is possible that in the circumstances, this is the best of the situation. If you like, this is the best of the outcome that they can give to the people of Ghana. Let us encourage our people, like what the former president is doing. He's encouraging the NDC Parliament. In fact, he has encouraged all of them to be part of the process. As members of Parliament, as stakeholders of the election, let us encourage our people, let us support them, for them to be able to go and register, which will be in consonance with the Article 42 of the 1992 Constitution, that anybody who attains the age of 18 years and is of sound mind should be allowed to be able to have his decision being heard during an election. So I think that is the position of the New Patriotic Party.
Okay, I'll go for this quick break. When I come back, we'll continue this conversation. This is key point. And Professor Antwi, Sammy Gyamfi will have their take on this particular subject. And then also some other concerns that we've had as well on this issue. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Boga Ponchina bo.
Boga Ponchina ya bigo.
Mabagana. No, Mabagana. Who this guy do over there? They get them from go free. Boga. Hey, I did it in here.
Onya mi bako shot senya.
Hey, umami baby cool it down, Jay.
Offer. This is Bigo Cola. Tasting here big.
This is so refreshing. I'm a Bigote.
You've never changed in value.
Oh no. Let's make the party begin.
Let's go.
Bigo Cola. Bigo Cola. You don't want them. They come. I don't want them. Cola. For the party. Bigo. For your hunger.
Enjoy the big refreshing moments with Bigo Cola.
This advert is FDA approved.
feel adrift as you transition into a new stage of your life? The future seems like a blank space until you discover the passion within. The canvas of the future is yours to paint. Welcome to a world of opportunities. Heritage Christian College, offering world-class university education, training compassionate entrepreneurial leaders.
We are smart. We have brought you the most exciting kids show with so much to learn. Don't miss out on the latest episodes of the Kids Arena because it promises to be fun, interactive, and educative.
Kids TV has taken a whole new direction and we are excited to be part of it.
Mom and Dad, come and join us. Jump around
Join us today
as we take you into a whole new world.
Kids Arena, this is us.
In the Kids Arena, yay!
Kids Arena shows Saturdays at 10 a.m. on TV3. Don't miss it.
It's gonna be a very, very influencing episode on Here to Win. Busting your brains, wow.
I want to cry.
What was Logan Cavelli's favorite subject in secondary school? The Kisi, the Meru, the Kiyuyu are which tribes in which Malawi? Ivory Coast is to the east coast of Ghana. True or false? True. Hey, yeah, one. Hey, yeah, one.
Here to Win shows Saturdays at 8 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Kill It Insecticide Spray.
Gino Tomato Mix.
She got tongues wagging with her explicit sex education show, but for her, she said it was not a way to encourage any form of promiscuity.
Love making is like you're hungry, you want something to eat. Care. No, Bella, allow me to speak.
Doc,
because listen, when you're not married, don't do it. It doesn't kill.
In fact, she was focused on married couples, helping them to better enjoy their intimacy. Of course, the system has become so polarized, but are we churning out more quality than quantity or more quantity than quality?
More quantity than quality.
That's a problem.
Yeah, people are doing stuff, but I feel like because everybody in Ghana can just, watch YouTube and say, oh, I'm a makeup artist, but it's always good to seek professional education.
Oh, fire around.
Hey, Adeba, Waya, Police Aba, Akonti. Who sang this one? I forgot to know.
Me too, I forgot to know. My name is Akuma Mama Zimbi, and I'm here with my sister,
Black Cherry GH.
And of course, we are the guests on The Day Show. Keep watching. May that's it.
See you on Sunday.
The Day Show, Sundays at 3 p.m. on TV3.
This program is sponsored by
welcome back. This is Key Point on TV3. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and DSTV channel 279 all across the world on 3news.com. Now, this is what the provision of Article 45 of the 1992 Constitution states. And Lamat, this is what you make reference to earlier, the functions of the Electoral Commission.
Yes. Apart from compiling, it should also expand. So I'm interested.
Let's go to the next. I think there's the E. and then the EC says to conduct and supervise all public elections referenda. E, as highlighted in the red, to undertake programs for the expansion of the registration of the voters.
Excellent.
Goes on, and to perform such other functions as may be prescribed by law. That's the emphasis that you put on this
the expand. So how are you expanding? So Council, you said it right. Since 2020, you didn't do in 2021, 2022, 2023. So if you get the opportunity, just do it well. I don't know. Is it money? Okay. No, I don't think it's money. They are just being lazy.
Okay. So Jeffy, so this one here says that, Alfred, good morning. In Kwanta South, the district capital is in Kwanta. Breweniase is about 47 kilometers to the capital, and I cannot afford that process of registration. All these must also be taken into consideration. Yes.
Mr. Council, I've never said that. I have relations in Breweniase.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. What kind of relations is that?
Okay, let's stay on the path. Let's stay on the path. Thank you.
Alfred, the matter we are discussing is a very serious matter because it borders on the right to vote, which is an inalienable right. It is a non-negotiable right. The supreme law of the land at Article 42 of the Constitution, which you have already read, guarantees the right of every citizen 18 years and above to vote. And it says that every Ghanaian who is 18 years and above and of a sound mind is entitled to be registered as a voter and to vote in public elections. The operative phrase here is entitled to be registered. So you cannot, as an electoral management body, be taking decisions that has the potential to deprive citizens of their right to be registered as voters. This is the seriousness of the matter we are discussing here. We are in court not because we are against voter registration or the limited registration announced by the EC and scheduled for the 12th of September this year. We are in court with other political parties because the EC has decided to restrict the upcoming limited registration exercise to only 265 centers. And these centers are their 265 district offices in the 265 districts of Ghana.
They say now it's 267.
Okay. So what the EC is saying is that for the whole Ghana made up of 16 regions, the whole country made up of 275 constituencies, with an eligible voter registrant population of over 3 million, can only register in only 265 or 67 centers. That is what they are saying. And we are saying we are vehemently opposed to this unreasonable, unconscionable decision because it will disenfranchise hundreds and thousands of eligible voters. And that is why we are in court. And thank you for correcting Vincent. It is not only the NDC which is in court, and that is instructive and material. Because in times past, people have sought to create the impression that NDC for you, we always find faults with the Electoral Commission. We don't like the EC. That is why we are always at their truth. But today, allies of the EC, and to some extent, the MPP, like the LPG of Kufia Palu, you have political parties that have been in existence for a long time, like the conventional People's Party, the CPP. You have Hassan Ayarige's APC. You have the GCPP, all joining the NDC to the Supreme Court, that we have had enough of the belligerence of the Jim Mensah Bosman Asare-led Electoral Commission. They are not interested in protecting the right to vote of citizens. And so we are going to court. And that is instructive. You see, the question of non-justiciability that my brother Vincent raised doesn't come in at all. I don't know why he imported that doctrine, that legal doctrine into this conversation. Because we are not talking about the sovereignty of a state or powers given a constitutional body which borders on discretion. You understand? Mm-hmm. Even if you are talking about discretion, there is Article 296 that governs the exercise of discretion. But more importantly, in this case, we are talking about the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, which has imposed a certain duty on the Electoral Commission. Which duty is being violated by the Commission? And therefore, under Article 1, 2, and 2 of the Constitution, the appropriate forum for such an action is none other than the Supreme Court.
I disagree.
However, there can be multiple causes of action flowing from a breach of law. Okay? Mm-hmm. And therefore, the fact that you may have a cause of action to the Supreme Court in a matter doesn't mean that you cannot have another cause of action in another forum. So some may decide to exercise that cause of action by way of a human rights action at the High Court under Article 33. Others may also come under Article 1, 2, and 2 of the Constitution. Because by restricting registration centers to their district offices, they are violating Article 42 and Article 45, 1E of the 1982 Constitution. And you cannot take violations of the Constitution to the High Court. Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court is the only forum mandated with the power and authority to interpret the Constitution. And Article 42, I've already told you, persons 18 years and above and of a son are entitled to be registered. And 45(1)(e), as lawyer Martin Pebu has alluded to, says that the EC shall undertake programs to expand voter registration. What they have done is that they are constricting access to voter registration. And to that extent, they are violating the Constitution. The right forum is the Supreme Court. Now, aside this, Article 45, this time around not the E, but the A, enjoins the Electoral Commission to compile the register and to revise same as may be determined by law.
Yes.
So 45A says the Electoral Commission shall have the following functions. A, to compile the register of voters and revise it at such periods as shall be determined by law. You understand? Now, what is the law in Ghana that governs voter registration? It is called CI 91. And that law provides for where registration of voters should be done. The EC, in restricting registration centers to their district offices, are violating that law. And I'll read that law to you.
This is CI 91.
CI 91. Let's go to Regulation 2, Sub-Regulation 2B of CI 91. This is, you don't have to be a lawyer to understand this. It is common sense. It says, the commission, in designating a place as a registration center, the commission shall take into consideration, listen, the operative word here is shall. It is mandatory, compulsory. It is not optional. It is not permissive. The commission shall take into consideration, A, the suitability of the place for use as a polling station on election day. Question. Have we ever in this country used EC district offices as polling stations on election day?
You should use the polling station then. That's suitable.
Listen.
Use the polling station.
It says the suitability of the place for use as polling stations on election day. We've never used EC district offices because they are not suitable for that. And we are never going to use EC district offices as polling stations. Polling stations are demarcated within communities where people live. You understand? So straight away, they have violated Regulation 2(2)A of their own law which governs registration. Then look at the B. In designating a place as a registration center, the commission shall take into consideration the accessibility of the place to prospective applicants for registration. That is precisely the point lawyer Martin Pebu is making. If you restrict the registration center to your district office, which is about 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers from prospective registrants, some of whom cannot afford 1 square meal a day because of your reckless mismanagement of the economy. People who don't have jobs, you want them to cough up 100 cedis, 200 cedis? I know somebody who lives in Boko and he says, to go to the district center, I have to spend 150 cedis on transport fare. And if I don't have a passport or the Ghana card and I need to go with 2 guarantors, I have to spend the same amount of money on the guarantors. People don't have jobs in this country. They don't even have food to eat. You have imposed untold suffering on people. And you are taking this senseless decision. What is the justification for this decision? So straight away, they have violated their own law. And you see, the title of the law is this: Registration Centers and Electoral Areas. Why do you have electoral areas there? So that, because the makers of the law, in their contemplation, thought that commonsensically registration on this scale will be done at the electoral area level, so that it will be in close proximity to the people. That is what we did under Afarijan. That is what we did under Charlotte Osei. That is what we have even done under Jean Mensa since she took office. Why must it be different now? Then you look at the regulation 30 you referred to. There is something there which, in reading the law, you didn't pay attention to that. In fact, it was Vincent who made reference to regulation 30. It says, the commission shall revise the register of voters annually. They didn't do it in 2021 and 2022 as you have established, showing clearly that this is an EC that has been acting illegally already. They have no respect for the law. They are laws unto themselves. They are only there to please their appointors. That's it. So they have already violated this law. But look at what follows that. The commission shall revise the register of voters annually and may revise the register of voters for each electoral area. Why didn't he say for each district? The register for each electoral area. So when you read this law as a whole, you see many references to registration on electoral area level in terms of the revision of the register. And that is what has been the practice. Look, he is reading to mean, okay, the sub-regulation 2 of regulation 30 to mean that the EC has the discretion to ignore this provision. But that is not what it says. When you people read, you should read well. Listen, let me read the sub-regulation 2 to you. The process for registration, as provided in these regulations, apply with necessary modifications as the commission shall direct for the revision of any register. So what shall? The process for registration as provided in these regulations apply with the necessary modifications. So what is what is the law talking about? It is the process for registration, not the centers of registration. Regulation, Massa, can you keep quiet to make my point?
Private regulation 9 says that it should be continuous. I refer to it.
Exactly.
The commission
so let me make my point. So the law is reading is wrong. What the discretion comes about the discretion here applies to the process. Okay. Now, when you come to regulation 2, Massa, can you allow me to make my point? Can you allow me to make my point?
You would have your take
in responding to. We are not here for friendship. This is serious business. We are talking about the right to vote, and you want to reduce it to a friendship matter? Regulation 2 says registration centers, and the operative word is shall. It's mandatory. You can't go to regulation 30 and read a provision which is discretionary there, which is talking about the process of registration, not the centers of registration, and say that that discretion there can allow the EC to change the centers of registration as provided mandatorily in law. Where did you learn that law from? Then, my brother, the question we are asking is that this is not the first time we are doing limited registration in Ghana. In fact, under Jean Mensa, we did limited registration in 2019. Yes. And that year, if you recall, they took this same decision to restrict the registration centers to their district offices. Then a citizen called Umar Ayuba went to the Supreme Court to injunct them. So the exercise could not even take place on the 4th of June as advertised by the EC because of that application for injunction. Yes. The EC immediately, they were sued, knowing the right thing all along, now made a sudden U-turn. And they increased the number of registration centers from their district offices, 265 at the time, to 1,500. Alfred, this is common sense. Even if you are watching me and you are an MPP person, ask yourself this. If in 2019, when we were registering under 2 million people, Jean Mensa was wise enough to do this registration at 1,500 centers. How much 2023? When we have a lot more people to register because of the backlog she, through her illegal conduct, has created by not revising the register in 2021 and 2022. A backlog of over 3 million people. Limited registration. What happened in 2019? Limited registration. You gazetted 1,500 centers, and that is what you did. And you are saying that in 2023, you will reduce the centers from 20,500 to 267. You know what they are trying to do? They are simply trying to rig the election. There is no commonsensical justification for what they are doing. It cannot be money, because this EC by far is the most resource commission in the history of Ghana.
Okay.
Every money they have asked for, the government and parliament has given to them. So money is not the excuse, but they are doing it for 3 reasons, and that is where I will land. They are doing it because of voter suppression. They want to suppress votes to manipulate the election, because they know that the MPP are in office. They have the largest of the states. If we restrict registration centers to the district offices, they can take state funds, taxpayers' money, and transport their supporters to district offices, whereas opposition parties cannot. So let's give the MPP an undue advantage, so that whilst we are suppressing votes in NDC strongholds, the NPP will have an advantage. Game plan number 1. Game plan number 2, by restricting registration centers to their district offices, they can rig the election through gerrymandering. You know why? Because if they do the registration at the electoral area level like they have always done, political parties, as they always do, will recruit and deploy agents. And usually the agents are residents of those electoral areas. So when you come to register and you are not ordinarily resident at that electoral area, they challenge you. You can't go through the system. But by restricting the process to their district offices, you cannot have one agent who know all the people who live in this district. So, for marginal constituencies that the NDC has won, they can move people from Vincent Assefue's constituency, Tafo, Bantama. Then they bring them to the constituency. You cannot detect whether they live in that district or not, because your agent does not know all the people who live there. So they are able to do gerrymandering. Right. And what the chaos this will create if we allow it to go on. No, I'm wrapping up. The chaos this will create if we allow this to go on is that in 2024, you will have a lot of people, apart from the gerrymandering, apart from the voter suppression, you have a lot of people who may not be able to even locate their polling stations on election day. Okay. Our grandmothers, our grandfathers, the illiterates, they go to a district office, even if they are able to get the money to transport themselves. But have you even thought about the fact that, Alfred, I'm coming.
While you round up.
If these people even find the 100 cedis, the 80 cedis, the 50 cedis, the 200 cedis with their guarantors and they go. Children, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, I wonder whether their parents will even follow them there. And they get to the district capital, join long queues, and it doesn't get to their turn. They don't get the opportunity to do it. Where would they sleep? Okay. How would they even come back and come again? You see, the only people defending this, Kodio has condemned it, Care Ghana has condemned it, all observers, all stakeholders, all political parties, except Vincent Assefue's MPP. You know why? Because they are the masterminds and the architect of this election rigging plot. Okay. They are the sole beneficiaries, and that is why he is citing inapplicable doctrines and principles of law and applying them wrongly to this matter. Trying to defend the indefensible. So lastly, Alfred, what I would say, you spoke at length. Let me just conclude.
I'm looking at that.
What I would say is that I wanted to say something about what happened in the Supreme Court. You see, the Chief Justice must be called out. It is totally reprehensible for us to have a situation in this country where you file an injunction application in the Supreme Court, and you are told that because the Chief Justice has traveled, you cannot be given a date for hearing. And that the Chief Justice has now made new rules that she alone is the one who can give dates for the hearing of injunction application. In what civilized country can this happen? In what civilized country? But in any case, the EC has been served an injunction application by 2 citizens from the High Court. Right. And per their own decision in the Dofor matter, where they suspended their supervision of the NDC's presidential primaries because they said, per their operational practices, once they have served an injunction application, they cannot proceed with any activity. They are supposed to hold on with this activity.
So you expect that will apply?
Let me call on all citizens watching us, especially NDC sympathizers, NDC supporters, Ghanaians, the youth who desire to see a change in the administration of this country.
Okay.
Your
thank
vote, Alfred, let me conclude in just
Right
5 seconds.
In 30 seconds.
Your
Yes.
vote is your power. Don't allow Jean Mensa, Bosman Asare, Akufo-Addo, and the MPP to take that power from you. Notwithstanding the court processes we have filed, irrespective of whether the EC will do the right thing by expanding the centers, will do the right thing by respecting the injunction they have been served with, prepare. If you can, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, if they decide to breach the injunction and still go ahead, let us show them that we are ready to stand against their oppression. And we will go out and register and vote them out because we have had enough of their misrule and their misgovernance.
The GCPP is talking about the procurement of some 8,530 registration machines for the 2020 registration exercise. And Citizen Atodazi is asking what is being done to do this. He refers to the IPAC meeting on the 16th of August. Obi Amwa of the MPP actually complained about this together with all the other political parties who were present at that IPAC meeting as well. Professor Nji.
Yes, Alfred, thank you. I think that when the heat is on, you see that people are passionate about that. There's something that I want to talk about in statistics. We say that not enough to know, just enough for better guess, statistics are born. So you can see that statistics are born out of ambiguities. There seems to be a lot of ambiguities in this. And that stems to the fact that the very reference document that we are using, that is causing us a problem. I don't know why we have the Public Service Commission, and yet we have a president appointing the Electoral Commissioner. Because the Public Service Commission is a very independent, constitutionally mandated commission. Our constitution is the basic problem that we are having a lot of debates. We have a lot of problem with this. The president should not be appointing an independent body like the Electoral Commission because it creates suspicion. And that shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't be here talking about this. Now, let me tell you this. We've had articles cited, we have regulations cited, we have doctrine cited. But what about reasoning?
Common sense.
What about reasoning? So, there are names attached to the statistics. We have 267 districts for the Electoral Commission, but 275 constituencies. That means the constituencies are 8 more than the districts. Then we have 6,272 number of electoral areas. So why can't we have every electoral area, all the 6,272, the Electoral Commission going there and setting up their gadgets so that everybody can register? Because that is a right. I'm appalled when we reduce right to political parties. When I sit here and I see people talking, oh, you are MPP, you are NDC, are we saying that people's brains are manufactured by political parties? People work hard for their integrities and their knowledge. So we have reduced everything to politics. And Vincent talked about, foreigners. So if that is the concern, we have a situation where the media, I asked the media to go and check. There was this headline that Shelley Ayakwaboche storms passport office. Big headlines. And those working at the passport office who are supposed to vet people to know whether they are foreigners or not, and they cannot get a Ghana card, they are all home now. So nobody is vetting. Nobody is vetting. So we have these foreigners that we are scared of still going through the process because in Ghana, it is the Foreign Affairs Commission that issues passport.
The ministry, you mean?
No, the ministry is doing that. But what do you call it? The passport office people who are belonging to the immigration people were vetting these people to see whether somebody is a citizen or not. But because of what the minister did, those people are still at home now. So I asked the media to go and investigate that. Now, let's come to this. Is there a need for everybody to register? That's a right. And when we have the right to register, I don't understand why even Ghanaians who are outside, they come home, they go to Electoral Commission District Office, they will tell them that we are at break. So when there's no election, they are all at break and they are being paid every month. Why are we wasting public money like that? So we are paying them. They are doing nothing until it gets to limited voter registration. They give us 3 weeks and people who are outside cannot even come in to vote. Now let's even talk about those who attained 18 years and are supposed to go to these district office and vote. Look, somebody told me that his chop money to the wife is 10 cedis a day. So he was talking about 24 cedis. Somebody's chop money is 10 cedis a day. 10 cedis, you want him to use that whole 10 cedis to get a lorry fare. And look at the bad roads. the bad roads of our rural areas. How some areas that you have one car that moves from that place to the district once a day. If you miss it, then you might have to walk.
Some places
Some places is dry. So let's bring reasoning to the way we are doing things. I don't like the trust gap. We seem not to trust ourselves about this. The Electoral Commission is not supposed to meet the whims and caprices of just a ruling party. They are supposed to be neutral. And being neutral, they have to face the trust gap. They have to be very consistent. The timeliness is very important. That we need a time that everybody can feel comfortable to go and do that. And I'm saying that we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect a different results. Else we keep on talking and talking. Their offices should be open throughout the year so that people can go and register. This wouldn't have happened every time because we have employed people there who are being paid, but they are doing nothing until we get to election time.
Even the annual one,
even the annual one is not that. So we have 3 years. We have 3 years that this has not been done. So the expansion is important. I think that this should not be politicized. And it's not called for to see that political parties are suing Electoral Commission. It brings that, and that adamancy. If you look at the EC Act 451 of 1993, it says that they are supposed to manage conduct of all public elections. So they are public officers. You know, in the advanced world, it's an honor to be a public officer. It's an integrity to be a public officer because you are there to serve from the heart. Everybody wants to be in public service because that is an honor. Here, we have people in public service who have been appointed by a ruling government, and because of that, they feel that they are, accountable and responsible to the ruling government. That's not how it's supposed to be. Else, we'll be running in circles and there will be a lot of confusions. We should have an independent body that appoint the IGP, that appoint the Electoral Commissioner, that appoint the military head, that appoint the immigration head, so that they will be independent to make policies that will help the country.
Professor Enoch Antwi, thank you. And this one here from a viewer watching us in Bole says, distance from Bamboy to Bole is 130 kilometers.
Imagine.
And so that should be taken into consideration as well to ensure that the right things are done. Even if there's precedents, did it happen at the time when the EC has not registered? Thank you very much. I'm going
to even get a bus to the district capital.
I'm going to go for this quick break. I have to go for a quick break.
The nature of our roads.
I'll go for a quick break.
Young children, 18-year-old.
Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Out of the week. Place bets and hit the jackpot. Log into the 1xBet account. Click on the Take Part button. Place bet and take part in the jackpot draw. Give your luck a chance. Use promo code to get a bonus on your first deposit.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be addictive.
Thomas present Caught in the Middle, a stand-up comedy special by Okukobioko. Come experience a night of relentless laughter and music.
I was passing in front of my neighbor's house. I heard my neighbor, he was praying. He said, I eat the blood. I drink the blood. I satisfy myself with the blood. I say, my brother, calm down, no, before you give Jesus anemia.
Performing comedians are Obi Amponsa Harara from Nigeria, Clemento Suarez, Shegala Bobo, Chemical, TK and Putogo. Venues at the National Theatre. Date Saturday, 16 September 2023. Time is 7 p.m. sharp. Rate 150 Ghana cedis for standard and 250 Ghana cedis for VIP. Dial *447 *2317# to purchase your ticket on all networks. Sponsored by Media Partners. Okukobioko. Caught in the Middle. You go laugh till you choke.
When it comes to the world of sports, what does complete mean to you?
When my team scores at the end of a 30-plus passing sequence, just like Pep Guardiola style.
When someone beats the buzzer with a shot from the logo, like Steph Curry.
Dominating opponents and punching my waist to a knockout like Africa's greatest boxer, Azuma Nelson.
running so fast that can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up. What makes all of these sports complete is the screen. This is where you get access to all the extensive highlights, analysis, and insights.
So do join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on 3FM 92.7 as we serve you the best sports buffet and most satisfying in the sports world. The 3 Sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in the sports world here on Sports Ultras.
Show no aye manya to say so manya and aye chaka to say chakademos. O talk be belonche and
Delay. Nani nyaya for fame. No.
Seriously? I be singing no credit because almost all brofo nye prempe brofo.
Brofo e disi kabana meka. Anya brofo hu biasa na meka.
It's all called public restroom who you so male and female ladies. And don't you think yes I will violate Emma because you have a male sex organ but you are using the ladies?
Oh, tell me I'm far of it.
What a word you know a putoy and you need delay a putoy.
The Delay Show now shows on Sundays at 6 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Vodafone, Safari Tissues, Pepsodent, Yas Sanitary Pad, Delay Foods, Tabia Takum, Greatfield Ventures, Alisa Hotel.
Welcome back to Key Point on TV3. We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, also on 3FM 92.7. I take notice of all your messages and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. The beginning of this week had Alan Kojo Chamanting communicating the decision to withdraw from the NPP flag bearer race. He cited a number of reasons, including intimidation and then also the violence that some of his agents, especially in the Northeast region, was subjected to. And these are the reasons, as you see on the screen: inducement, violence, a superdelegates conference strategically and tactically skewed in favor of one particular aspirant, pronouncement by leading members, also lending credence to this earlier point he makes about this being skewed in favor of a particular candidate as well. Now, we're going to hear from Alan Chamanting when he visited this Northeast candidate who suffered some bruises as a result of the violence. One eye closed. Take a look.
On Saturday was an act of total indiscipline and indecent behavior. How do we, as a decent party, going into an election, particularly at the level of superdelegates, superintend such behavior? I mean, look, we all joined the NPP because of our commitment to the values of the party. But what is happening clearly shows that this is not what we bargained for by joining the party. I'm not going to tolerate this kind of behavior.
There are a few other things that also came up after this, and the party accepted the decision to withdraw and then also indicated what the way forward is. Take a look at the statement that he put out. He says he's not convinced that the circumstances that he has referred to earlier, and I'll start off with you on this, will not persist or even be escalated in the next round of elections, for which balloting is scheduled for Wednesday, 6th September 2023. So even though the party says it is investigating all the issues he raised, he says that he essentially doesn't have faith in the structures of the party to deal with this particular case. Do you see this outcome or this development posing any threat to the NPP?
Well, I think that it doesn't because
Alan Chamanting's withdrawal.
It doesn't. The allegations that has been stated out there per the press statement is inconsistent with the reality.
It's inconsistent
with the reality.
What's the reality?
The reality is that I do not think that the use of phrases like widespread intimidation, there's an allegation that was stated in the press release, is the reality on the ground. Because, yes, I am a voter. I voted in the Ashanti region as a member of parliament. There are 16 electoral centers, and you add the headquarters, making it 17. Now, out of the 17, if there is one center that recorded that incident, which had its agent had that damage of the eye, can that be interpreted to mean that there was widespread intimidation? That is one. Two, if you also allege that there was some inducement, me sitting here, I feel very insulted as a member of parliament.
Why?
Because I'm a voter, I'm part of the special delegates conference. So if I go out to go and vote because of my belief in a particular candidate, and you allege that I have been induced, I feel very insulted. You are telling me that I don't have a mind of my own to be able to vote for a particular candidate. What can Dr. Bawumia give me? Can he come in? What is it? What is it? Why didn't he give me something if there's an inducement? So I don't believe that that is the issue. That is also not consistent with the reality. Now again, another issue that is also inconsistent with the reality is that if you say that the election was skewed strategically, tactically, to favor a particular candidate, that is also not the reality, because the constitution of the New Patriotic Party is crystal clear as to the membership of who becomes a delegate or who is entitled to vote as a delegate. It talks about 275 members of parliament. So in our instances, we have 137 members of parliament who were eligible to vote or who voted. We also have 272 regional executives who were entitled to vote. We also have constituency chairmen, 275 of these constituency chairmen. We also have founding fathers. We have former presidents. And these people have been given an opportunity, or if you like, a right to be part of the Special Delegates Conference. Can there be a suggestion, even for once, that anyone was allowed to vote when that person was not given a mandate under the constitution of the New Patriotic Party? I am very passionate about this issue because the stature of the Honorable Alan Kyerematen is so huge. I've had occasion to indicate that he is a gentleman to fault. I have no problem with him, like many others who voted for Dr. Bawumia. Nobody has any problem with him. But when you bring out such a statement, it casts a slur on the integrity or the security integrity of the state, because it is supposed to be an internal election. A party that wields governmental power, that party cannot peacefully organize its election. You are suggesting to the international community that come 2024, it will be a showdown. But that is not the case. The case is that there was an isolated issue that happened during the 26th August electioneering process. And that isolated process or that isolated case is what happened in the Northeast. Agreed. We have condemned it. It is not supposed to be happening. That is why there has been a trigger of investigation into those matters by the National Executive Committee. So if anybody attempts to suggest that the establishment, the National Party or leadership, in fact, one of the allegations that you also made with respect
is that
to
one isolated case not worrying enough for you as a party?
But I'm saying that if you use...
If even, let's assume that in that one isolated case where one person was left with bruises, his eyes
I have condemned
closed.
it. I have condemned it.
You've condemned that?
It is shameful. But I'm saying that if that allows such a person of his stature put out a statement which is accessible to international community that there was widespread intimidation, that casts a slur on the integrity of of the state. But my problem is, if you go ahead to allege that there were some leading members who were supporting a particular candidate, and for that matter, you feel that the system or the electioneering process was not fair, then I ask myself, there were other leading members in the party who were also supporting you. In fact, there were cabinet ministers, like the Honorable Amewu, supporting Alan Kyerematen. There are ministers, like Deputy Minister like Abena Osiasa, who was also supporting Alan. So, I mean, it cannot be a basis for you to say that because of that I'm withdrawing. I only have believed that there are other reasons why he is withdrawing, and probably he didn't want to go straight or if like direct.
Well, he says in the coming days we'll get to know the role he'll play in Ghana politics. Lamat, a brief one on this, really. Because in the end, in fact, there's been calls for him to even go independent so that there'll be a third force and so on for the MPP and the NDC. I don't know if this is a suggestion that you would buy into, and especially taking into consideration the reasons why he even took this decision in the first place to withdraw from the race of the MPP flag bearership. Lawyer.
Okay, so my first comment is that Alan's performance really, you just say, well, it was a long time coming. Long time coming because, you know, it looks like there's a certain deficit. He doesn't have what it takes to organize a political campaign. Yes, sadly so. No, I can tell you, I have known Vincent for maybe 2014, so 2010, yeah, 9-10 years. Oh no, let's leave that.
All right. Okay.
But that's true, right?
No, that's okay.
Yeah. So, so now the thing is that those days, after John Kuma, those days, you see, those days after John Kuma, the next person you see as an Alan boy is Vincent.
Yes.
So today when I walked in, I even thought Vincent was coming to talk for Alan. Then it looks like no, he wasn't talking for Alan.
He was at his ministry for about 7 months.
And
Vincent
then
was there.
Yes, and then also John Kuma.
Before he moved in a post.
Right. And John Kuma is no longer in Alan's camp. John Kuma is with Fufuriata and co. Other people I've talked to a few party people who were in Alan's camp, they all switched.
Yes.
Then I said, no, this is a lost cause. It's a lost cause. So to sum up, Mr. Can say, no, I don't support Alan for an independent candidate. I've made it very clear that the people I support for an independent candidate is the churches. Let the churches come together. The Catholic Church, the Pentecostals, the Charismatics, all of them, Chief Imam and his people, they should come together and give us a candidate to rival Sami Jemfi's NDC and then what do you call it, Baumia in the MPP. We are tired of the NDC and MPP thing. No, they are the same. Except it's proving that now NDC is less corrupt than MPP because the gargantuan corruption we are facing today,
we are not
and they are less corrupt. They are less. Mama was also corrupt, just like Akufo-Addo's son is on a grander scale. Akufo-Addo's son is on a grander scale. He's the mother serpent of corruption. So we want to get something different from NDC and MPP. Let the Catholic Church, the Pentecostals, the Chief Imam and people give us a candidate. Let's try something. We are tired of these politicians. They are crooks.
Dr. Asante, let me bring you quickly on this. This independent candidate proposal that Alan should consider. Well, he hasn't given any indication of that, but it says in the coming weeks we'll get to know what he will do. Would he have any gravitas if he goes on that path?
Yeah, good morning to my friends in the studio. I love the conversation. The issue is that idea, I'll be surprised Mr. Kyerematen will want to take that route. One, he is not going to win as an independent candidate, far from it. Two, if you want to, let me explain why he will not win as an independent candidate. If you look at independent candidate, the history of this country, nobody has survived. It's simply because the two-party traditions are so strong that it does not allow for independent candidates to get roots. Those who are pushing for he joining other smaller parties to have a third force, and I see my champion lawyer, Lawyer Kwebu, saying that the churches and all the religious groups should come out with a third force. Yes, if that will work, fine. But the third force will also not have roots here. Why? If you look at this country, even pre-independence, during independence, post-independence, the parties we've had are two-party traditions. So if you look at the NDC, it's nothing but an offshoot of the CPP when they became weak, and then we had this NDC. So any third force is likely to struggle. In fact, in Ghana, you are not going to win elections in the nearest future. All right. Let's cast our mind back to two-party systems. United States, Britain, other countries. Third force have not been able to survive. No. So it gives you an idea that third force in our part of the world, it's not. Look at we have done, my team, which last election, you recall, the work we did with you, Election Watch. We did a study from 1992 to 2020. And research shows that all the small parties, their performance put together, do not go beyond 4%. Yes. And you are talking about a president where you need to cross the thresholds of 50,
votes were more than that.
Beyond 50%. So it is actually an impossible adventure. But what, if he should go on that route, my understanding is that he's going to rock the boat of the NPP, which, remember, he's a force to reckon with within the party. So he will pull some people along. And remember, you need just one vote to move you from a candidate to become a president. So even if he's going to get 100 or 200 votes, it's going to cost the NPP seriously. Right. And let's cast our mind back to 2000 when Reform Party came up as a protest against NDC, where NDC lost marginally. One of the factors was the reform. Reform was able to pull a number of votes. And that, if you look at those people, they were nothing but NDC people. So if you put all their votes together, NDC would have carried the day. But things turn differently. So this is what I see. Right. He can go on that route if you want to undermine the fortunes of NPP. That's one. Or he would like to stay and convince himself that he will win. That one, it is a mission of suicide mission. He won't win.
All right.
All right. So these are the things that are there.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sasante. Samyevi, go on this.
My brother, the resignation, or if you like, withdrawal by Mr. Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen from the NPP's ongoing presidential primaries is understandable. For me, I think that we should credit the man with some intelligence. This is a very experienced politician. Somebody who was very instrumental in the formation of the NPP as a political party. He has paid his dues to that political party. He has read the situation, and he has come to the conclusion that he cannot survive the rigged system that is currently being implemented. The entire NPP presidential primaries has been rigged for the establishment candidate, Alhaji Bawumia. I mean, and you have to be an amateur in politics not to see this. In fact, it should be clear even to the uninitiated that this is a rigged system. The general secretary, the national chairman, national officers, regional officers, constituency officers who are referees in the election are all actively working to get Bawumia elected at all cost, because President Akufo-Addo, who currently controls the NPP, needs a puppet who can protect him and his family and friends after he leaves office in 2024. And they can't get that puppet in Kennedy Agyapong. Certainly, Alan Kyerematen cannot be that puppet. So the poodle, the stooge they have now is Alhaji Bawumia. And therefore, they are determined to do everything possible. There is no way Alan Kyerematen could have survived the violence, the excessive inducement. When you were talking, I was quiet. Listen, there are rules on this program.
Yes.
What about that word don't you understand? Who doesn't know that Bawumia is Akufo-Addo's stooge? Who doesn't know? Let me make my point. Look. So how do I wrap up on my point? You just gave me the opportunity.
Wait.
I just started my submission, so don't tell me to wrap up.
Mr.
Master, it is not for nothing that you bear the title honorable.
No, but you can't
so behave honorably on this
Mr.
platform.
Mr. Sefa,
Please.
Mr. Sefa,
Let us. The program has rules. Comport yourself and let's proceed.
Now admit you into it if I want to. Please, let's, Mr. Sefa, let's. Sami, just round up.
Okay. We are not here to make you happy. You see, Alfred, look at what happened. In this modern day, more than 3 decades of multi-party democracy, you have the ruling party embarking on a family affair, an exercise to elect a leader. And the whole thing has been turned into a war movie. Look at what they are doing to their own. Beating people up, slapping people with blood gushing out of people's faces. And you are here underestimating it. It's only one event, one incident, 2 incidents. If you were slapped, what are your ball when in a Is that what you would have said?
Okay.
You see, let me make my point. I beg
round
you.
up for me.
How do I round up? You don't want me to talk?
Sami, round up.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I'll wrap up in 1 minute. So the violence was too much. The MPP today has become synonymous with violence. The MPP today has become an institution of violence. Every electoral process they are involved in turn out violently. And that is why my advice to the young people watching us is that, look, even the old men like Alan are running away. The MPP is not the party for you. But finally, what they are engaging is a marathon to nowhere. It's a race to the bottom. Because no matter who they elect, even if they elect the establishment candidate Bawumia, he is still going to lose because he has been a spectacular failure, having supervised the worst ever economic performance in our history. Today is the butt of all jokes in town. Nobody takes it seriously. So they should stop killing themselves. This is just a democratic exercise within your own party.
Thank you.
See yourselves as brothers. Learn from the NDC. When we were electing President Mahama a few weeks ago, we didn't hurt anybody. Nobody was slapped.
Thank you. Professor Enoch, yes. Sorry.
Alfred, I have 2 minutes. Please, gentlemen, I'm on the floor. I have 2 minutes. History can repeat itself. We know from 1979 that Pauli left the Popular Front Party to form the United National Convention. At that time, Nanado's uncle, Nanadu was the secretary. He joined his uncle Pauli, and that made to Victor Wusu losing and Dr. Hilary Liman winning the election. So history can repeat itself if Alan decides to join another force. We also know that the Green Party really hurt Al Gore in U.S. elections when in Florida when he could not win. So any breakaway from the MPP could also hurt them, like what Dr. Ansah said, because politics is about numbers. But Alan has himself to blame. Alan was into politics way before Bawumia got into politics. And to allow them, Bawumia and the forces to mafia him in this way, I'm surprised. But it's because
you can't compete with the money.
Yes, Sami, I'm saying, but Sami, I have not landed. Sami, wait until I finish my word. Alan was branded as Alan Cash. Alan was branded as Alan Cash. So if somebody has beaten you to the Cash syndrome, you see, so there's a problem. He was branded. He was branded wrongly.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Alan was branded wrongly, and he's been advised wrongly.
Okay.
So I think that we need peace. But please, gentlemen, give me a floor. You see, we are not getting anywhere in our politics. If you look at the money people pay now, if you don't have about 1.4 million, you cannot contest for election. Multiply by 275 MPs, and if you contest it with 3 or 4 other people, the money they all spend in the electionary period. We should look into this. You know, this way that we are spending so much money in elections. We are thinking about the next election, the next elections. We should not be going to the IMF for loans when we have money here and we are wasting all the money on the electionary processes. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Enoch Enchi. Professor Enoch Opoku Enchi. Thank you. Thank you very much. He is the Dean of the Business Development and Leadership at the Accra Academic City University. Thank you. He's a governance and leadership expert. Martin Kpebu, thank you very much. He's private legal practitioner. Sami Jemfi is communications officer of the NDC. And Eko Vincent Asifwa is member of parliament for the Old Tafo constituency. Thank you. Thank you very much for staying with us here on Key Point. We're also live on 3FM 92.7. On behalf of the rest of the team, thank you for joining us. I am Alfred Okanse. On behalf of the Key Point production team, we appreciate your time. Have a good week.
The parking lot.
This program is rated U.